770 stop in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Help is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
Veterans, do you know what local, state, and federal benefits and services you're eligible to receive? Do you want help navigating the application or appeals process? Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. You've served our country, now let us serve you. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift this Christmas morning. Join 1620 The Zone as we stuff the truck to benefit Toys for Tots. This Friday from 3 till 7 and Saturday from 11 till 4 at the Zone Studio parking lot off 50th and Dodge. Help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. All the info at 1620thezone.com with Molina Healthcare, 2 Men in a Truck, J-Tech Construction and Solar, Hy-Vee, and 1620 The Zone. Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
A crossover is
crossover dribble.
Crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time. Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
Crossover continues to evolve.
It's brought to you by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com. All right, so the 23 season is over.
Yep.
It's all too familiar.
Yep.
It's cloudy outside today. You ready?
Literally
8 and 4.
figuratively.
8 and 4. 8 and 4.
UTEP
Whoa.
win.
8 and 4 easy.
Colorado revenge win.
Yes.
Yeah.
Northern Iowa.
3-0.
Yep.
Because Northern Iowa did not make the playoffs. this
Nope.
year. They went 6-5.
Sliding there.
Okay.
Illinois. 4-0. Purdue.
That's a
5-0.
home game. That is a home game.
Purdue's on the road.
So essentially, Nebraska, by the time they go to Rutgers, should be bowl eligible next year.
Nebraska doesn't play at Rutgers next year. They have Rutgers at home.
The Rutgers home game.
And they
bad.
will be 5-0 by that point. And then they will be 6-0.
Yeah, so
when they
get
play
there,
Rutgers.
So they'll
Yes.
be 6-0.
When they're coming back from
Yeah.
or when Rutgers is leaving. And then they have a bye week, and then they go to Indiana, first-year coach Indiana, whoever that may be.
Too bad the John Gruden thing was not real, because that would have been kind of cool.
7-0 when you wake up on October 20th. 7-0.
So this is going to be like 2016 all over again.
So then
7-0, then 7-5.
And then, and then you could find 1 or 2 out of this, right? At Ohio State. That's fine. That's fine. UCLA at home. What happens with UCLA this offseason? Who knows?
True.
All right. Bye week.
Okay.
At USC. What happens with USC this offseason?
Don't know.
What happens Caleb Williams isn't going to be there anymore.
True.
Are they even good? Who knows? Wisconsin at home. Who knows what happens with them? At Iowa. Who knows what happens with them? 8 and 4, easy.
Ooh.
You know, I found myself doing this exact same exercise when we were at 5 and 3 at the end of October, saying,
Well,
okay, just got to get one there.
Well, guess what? 2024 is a new time.
To bounce a different way. I think you're underselling.
You think it'd be 10 and 2?
No, I think 9 and 3. I can't go
9 and 3.
Whoa!
I think 9 and 3.
9 and 3. 9 and 3. Because the thing has been this season, you wasted this easy schedule, and there's no doubt about it. The schedule this year was easy, but 2024 we're making out to be this like giant schedule. Where are the hard games? Except for at Ohio State. Where's all the losses in there? Please count them for me. Go ahead. 8 and 4 conservatively.
Chris on YouTube.
This will be a great offseason.
Does any of this matter? They lost to an interim coach at Michigan State.
None of it matters. None of it matters. It's the first day of the offseason.
Yeah, but they beat an interim coach in October.
Yeah, they did. And now he's going to be.
That's a push.
He's no longer interim, and he's going to be Big Ten Coach of the Year.
Now, what this little exercise just did is we'll be able to tell if people know how sarcastic we are, or if they think this is real, and we're just going to get crushed. They'll be like, man, I'm an Iowa fan. You ought to listen, but they're already on to 24. They got 9 wins next year.
Well, let's be honest for a second. Why can't they go 8 and 4 with that schedule?
Connor, I could care less about 2024 right now.
Whoa,
I
whoa,
care.
whoa.
I care about the next month.
Okay.
fair.
Well, I also care about that. I also care about
I don't
the next
want to
month.
look ahead to 2024. You had to remind me that the game was not at Rutgers. I just know the first game is UTEP, then Colorado, then Northern Iowa.
Well, I know
You don't have your magnet yet.
Exactly. Everybody takes their first blush look today. They're like, okay, let's see what this 2024 is all
I should
about.
have known that this season was going to end poorly because I got one of those magnets from a realtor, and it had his picture on there, his phone number, all of his information. He no longer is a realtor.
Oh, yeah, that isn't a good
And
sign.
by the time that
That's
he
a
had
goocher.
printed it, like dates had changed. He didn't have the Illinois game being on a Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They're going to play the Friday games next week. That at Purdue.
Indiana. Totally.
Clearly, it's a realtor who didn't pay attention to detail, and
he just won the magnet.
And that speaks to how he ran his business.
I had to look at it this morning
Something
on my
was
fridge, and
was
I'm
missing
like,
in the
"Ooh,
offer."
this did not go well."
So, okay, best bets for Friday games.
Indiana.
At Indiana, October 19th, which would be October 18th. And then at Purdue is probably second.
Yep.
Right?
I think my money's on Indiana.
Is the Purdue game Halloween?
Purdue game is not Halloween for like the first time ever this year. It's end of September.
Okay. I would think more Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah, my money's on Indiana.
All right. That's the odds on favorite, minus 250. At Purdue is probably like plus 200. Probably some good odds there.
Yeah.
Some good odds there.
I can't do this.
Why not?
I just can't.
Come on, lock in. How many first or second year coaches is Nebraska going to be playing next year?
Well, they'll have UTEP.
UTEP's a first year coach. Colorado's a second year coach, maybe, unless he's a first year coach. Who knows? Who knows? I have no
Warren
idea.
Sapp will be
I
on the
don't know
staff.
what's going to happen. Purdue's a second year coach. Indiana's a first year coach. UCLA's a first year coach. I don't know what's going to happen at USC. Wisconsin's a second year coach. What's going to happen in Iowa? Is Kirk Ferentz going anywhere? Who knows?
If Mary says, Kirk, it's time to retire, he'll retire.
And then if Kirk Ferentz goes away and sings My Way by Frank Sinatra, and then Brett Bielema takes the job, and then he's your first-year coach at Iowa, and then it's a first-year coach back in Illinois.
Well, it's because Mark Stoops didn't take the job at Texas A&M. He knows that the Iowa thing is going to be open.
Yep. It's true.
I can't believe that happened again.
We will know what Kirk is going to do on Saturday night in Indianapolis. If he has
He's emotional
Iowa
again?
logo,
like Brian, yeah,
then he's out.
Yeah,
There's a Carhartt.
Brian, yes, I swear Brian was wearing the same stocking cap that the state troopers were wearing.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the town, you know, they get their cold gear.
I was even trying to see like
Fenway Pack.
Did his shoes even look like they were like team issued Nikes? And I think they were though. I think he still had the team issued Nikes on.
I love that move. I love that for Brian.
Oh, it is so petty. It is like the most petty thing in the world.
It's great.
What's he bitching about though?
They pre-fired him.
Yeah, they pre-fired him, but he's been stealing money from that university for years.
So here's a little backstory that I got from my, discussion on Friday with somebody that's inside of their program that we have a common friend,
Caitlin Clark.
So when this all went down, Kirk was ready to leave.
Yeah, I bet.
Like they were livid, like just over the top. And that's why I keep bringing up his wife, like all good football coaches, their wife runs everything. So Kirk was like done. He was like ready to get out. He was like, no, what they've done to me is unacceptable. All the loyalty I've had. So his wife talked him off the ledge. And that's why you saw the pivot of we're sticking with this. We're going to fight it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but he was pretty obviously still PO'd.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
so
he hit it. But
so I asked this person, I said, okay, what's going to happen? Be honest with me. And they said, we have no idea. Like he hasn't, after that like 3-day stretch, he's back to being normal Kirk. And you would never know if the sun was out or the sun was not out.
We'll see.
And I said, okay, so be honest, what's going to happen? Is he going to be back next year? And that's where he said, if his wife, who talked him off the ledge, if his wife says, you know what, you've put in the time, let's just spend time together, then he's done. But if she says, you know what, I'm not ready for our football life to be over in Iowa City, he ain't going nowhere. Now, there are a lot of people that don't want him to go anywhere.
He's 68.
Because they want him, they want him to stay because they do have some things that are, in place. But I don't know. It's just a weird feeling because no one knows for sure for a guy that's that successful. There's a thing out there about he wants to chase. Some people think he wants to chase a record in the Big Ten.
Yeah, the coaching, the all-time wins. of Woody Hayes.
How far is he off on
10.
that?
He's 10 wins away from Woody Hayes.
Oh, he'll get that.
Oh,
He'll get
So-
that.
okay. Then yeah.
So I would be very surprised if he's not back. Next
Okay, here's Iowa's schedule next year. Ready? Let's big Iowa overreaction. Illinois State,
That's a dub.
Win.
Iowa State.
Probably.
50-50,
Where's
probably
it?
win. Yeah, that one would be in Ames. No, that one's in Iowa City, right?
It is.
Win.
Troy
Win.
at Minnesota.
They never lose to Minnesota
Ooh,
except when
except-
they get screwed.
Yeah, except on a punt return.
At
I
Ohio
don't even
State.
go in there in the post game.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm living my best life. I'm now 10-2.
Dude, he can
I'm
do
the
anything
worst-
he wants.
I'm the worst 10-win Power 5 school ever. We should have had 11.
My guy was
Yeah.
emotional. He was like, you know what?
he
Let's go
is.
back to
He's
a
been
month
emotional for a
ago.
couple of
He's
weeks.
been that. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
been that way for like the last 3 weeks. That's why, again, where I think I would say 70-30, he's back, but that emotion he keeps showing, like, I don't know if there's like a bigger, there's kind of a bigger plan there.
Wait till Dana Holgerson is his OC next year.
I am ready for this game more than maybe any other Big Ten game that I've seen for next year. When Iowa brings in Washington on Saturday, October the 12th for a Big Ten conference game.
Say welcome to Kinnick, Washington.
That's going to be
That
a
is
lot
a
of fun.
rematch of a Rose Bowl game when I was a little kid.
true.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
You know,
You've got
Bryant against Gordy
idea
Bohannon.
what Washington's going to be.
And their West Coast road trip this next year is at UCLA. They also get Michigan State on the road, Northwestern at home, because they got to keep all their rivalry games. They got all of, the Big Ten West just stayed alive for them. And then they go to Maryland and then host Nebraska at the end of the season. So I'd say, probably another 10. probably
maybe 11.
Probably another 10 for them.
There's definitely 9 on this schedule next year.
Hey, now do Northwestern schedule.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
We'll do them all. Who's
Rating-
Northwestern get in the West
Reigning
Coast
Big
team?
Ten Coach
God,
of
I
the
hate
Year.
the offseason around here.
They have
Oh, Northwestern's
in
going to go
the-
to Washington, the Purple
at
Bowl.
Washington, yeah.
Yeah,
That'll be awesome.
it's a big purple off.
Couple of
I
TBAs.
hate the offseason.
That big game against Duke every year.
Come on, Gary. This is the first day of your new life.
The Nerd Bowl.
No, I hate this. I absolutely hate it. It's miserable. This is a miserable offseason around here.
It is. It is. He's not.
Well,
he's not wrong.
when you speak it into existence like that, it is.
Yeah, we've tried for 15 years to speak into existence of like good
Don't give
quality
them the power.
Saturdays. You know what we've spoken into existence? Pain,
We
Hey,
did.
Prediction?
agony.
We
Prediction?
did. But
I'm
guess what?
Tired.
As the people in the state are, we are resilient. We bounce back
Mhm.
because that's what we do here
Yeah,
in
too
the state
bad
of
the football
Nebraska.
team in
Man, that is
2023
true.
is not.
And we look ahead to 2024
Whoa.
and we say, you know what? 8-4. We're going. See you later, Holiday
Damn,
Bowl.
Connor, that is so
We're-
right on.
We're coming back. We're resilient.
It makes you appreciate past success around here.
I am ready to get hurt again.
Yeah. Yes, I'm ready to have my heart broken again.
Yeah, well, pass it. We're gonna. There, it'll come back.
It's what, 276 days? I don't think I looked it up, but I believe that's what it is.
We're
now
one
and
transfer portal edition away from believing
That's
again.
right.
You
That's
guys know
it.
it's true. You know it's true.
Who knows? Nebraska
I
basketball
would
is going
like-
to take us through March.
I would like Nebraska to lose the offseason because then that means they're going to win the
Yeah,
real
that's true.
season.
That's
No,
right. Who
you
the
don't
hell
want
is this
that.
guy?
You don't want that.
They're incapable of losing.
You
the offseason.
must win the
They
offseason.
picked up a Division II quarterback in the trade. What the hell is this? But
No,
then
you-
all of
They
a sudden
decided to
works
run it back with the 3 quarterbacks from last year.
out. Jeff Sims has been said that he can actually be fixed.
That's what makes everything worse. If that happens, then it is a miserable offseason.
Nebraska's
there's
only going to
no-
have 10 guys on the field because Harburg's going to play 2 positions.
Hell yeah.
Quarterback and tight end.
See, now you're willing the bad stuff into existence.
No. We do a really good job of winning the offseason.
It's true.
Nebraska needs to take an L in the offseason.
No, horrible take. Horrible
I'm
take.
going against. I'm exhausted.
I get it. You're doing
I'm doing the
opposite.
opposite.
You're doing the George
You say
Costanza.
speaking into existence.
Yep. I get it.
You want them to lose the offseason purposefully. You want them to throw the
Yes, as
offseason.
you can tell, I'm very serious about
I get
as
what you're
serious
doing.
as the Jardines commercial is, which is on TV all the time and is a
Hell
very
yeah.
ugly looking commercial.
Yeah, and like 75% of it is the disclaimer.
Yes.
Mhm.
It's like, watch out.
If you're allergic to this, don't take this.
Yeah, thank you.
If doing everything that what is the Costanza logic too? If doing everything opposite has worked, how could it be wrong? So that is how we have to go in the offseason. We've won a lot of off seasons and it hasn't worked out. So we've got to lose them. And then based on that logic, doing the opposite will work.
I think Northwestern's probably 10-2 next year too. So I don't know.
If
Yeah,
every
looking at their
instinct
schedule.
you have is wrong, then the opposite
That is-
would
yes.
have to be right.
Yes, there it is. There it is. That's what we have to. That needs to be the offseason motto
All
for
right.
Nebraska.
So talk it in. Say that my instinct is that Tony White is going to leave probably for UTEP because he went to high school in El Paso.
God.
No, he can't go to UTEP.
Wouldn't that be something?
He goes to UTEP and plays him in the first game next year? That'd be horrible.
How come people are not inquiring about?
I would pound the under on that one
as a head coach.
They go get him. He's available.
You can have him.
Don't you think that Rule should be promoting Marcus Satterfield as somebody who is built to be a future head coach?
I think he'd love to. He just hasn't been asked the question.
I'm sure he probably didn't mention it, because he just wants to keep him under wraps as much. But I'm sure a search committee's called on him too.
I heard that the Dave Tepper and the Panthers are looking at Satterfield.
And Rule said that's a great job. Go get it.
And he'd be a good fit there.
Go get
resources.
Yeah, be a great fit. They've got quarterback figured out.
They have the number 1 pick next year, right?
And they don't anymore now.
No.
Fortunately, they don't.
You can handpick your own quarterback,
but they got their man.
What a difference a year makes.
I love it.
This Monday last year, we were all geared up. I think you might have been in a suit down in Lincoln reporting live.
I was not. I was sitting right in this exact seat, probably wearing the
I was
exact
in
same thing.
I was in Starkville, Mississippi.
Oh, wow. And now they're having a great time. They're lifting their athletic director on their
AD
shoulders
is getting
because they hired a bum-ass offensive coordinator from Oklahoma.
That's why the SEC
That's as excited as you can get right there when you hoist up your athletic director. Do you think he said that? Do you think he said, hey, guys, lift me up? They're like, all right, fine.
Maybe he said, hey, look, we're pro Art Briles.
Like I said, I seriously want to know, like, at what point?
We're just built a little bit differently around here. I don't think we're hoisting Trev Albert.
No. When do the players decide, oh, my God, this hire's amazing. Let's lift him up on our shoulders because he made that decision. How did that happen?
Awesome.
Someone needs to do a little bit more digging on that one.
This is why the offseason rules.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The offseason
Should
rules.
be fined for that.
Rule the offseason.
I think bad rule puns from here on out should cost the person that violates the rule.
That's a good idea.
Should be
that was
$1.
an accident for the record.
Okay, for here on out,
right.
We have to fine ourselves if we have a bad rule pun.
You get a kick in the stuff.
Quarter in the jar.
Let's go $1.
$1 a cup.
Whole dollar in the jar. Goodness.
And then we will use the money that is collected with bad rule puns to go to Indianapolis next year.
That sounds great. That sounds awesome.
With or without Nebraska.
Yeah. To watch Michigan.
Oh, I thought you were talking about media days.
On USC.
Oh, no, we'll always go there because Nebraska always wins media days.
Dude, media days is going to be awesome next year. USC, UCLA, everybody's going to be asking all these questions. What do you think about USC and UCLA? I don't know.
That's going to have to be a 3-day thing.
I brought some of the cocktail sauce.
How many wins combined does USC and UCLA have next year?
Oh, let's do a big Trojan overreaction.
Over under 15 and a half.
14
total.
Oh, in the Big Ten, like conference wins?
No,
or just
no.
total.
USC kicks things off with LSU in Vegas.
14
Okay,
and a half,
that's
you
not
say.
good.
No Caleb Williams. How about Caleb Williams and Drake May? Both like ended just petering out.
Yep.
1-5. The other was 2-4.
Tough hang.
Michael Penix is now up the draft board.
Those are your top 2 guys in the draft. Yeah.
And as a Chicago Bears fan, I'm wondering, is Justin Fields better than Michael Penix? Because I don't know.
LSU.
I was very much into Caleb Williams before.
Well,
what do we think of USC Penn State?
And you already know how I feel about getting another North Carolina quarterback in Chicago. That ain't happening.
Fun.
I already did that with Mitch.
Say it again, Josh.
USC Penn State at the Coliseum. Which team that loses big games wins that one?
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. That was, that's good.
Oh,
that was a Rose Bowl a few years ago, right?
I kind of like Penn State in that one.
That's a job that James Franklin covets.
Nice.
No one does it better.
Hey, get James Franklin out of there too. All of a sudden, the Big Ten looks wide open.
I mean, Ryan Day's got to be upset at Mike Elko. He's supposed to take the Texas A&M job.
Mm-hmm.
Dabo Sweeney was involved as well.
Yeah, what happened?
Was, yeah.
Mike Elko really blindsided everybody taking that job. Look, they could have had Ryan Day and Dabo Sweeney.
Yep.
OCDC.
But they used Twitter to have a coaching search poll.
Yeah, that was bad
Mark
call by them.
Stoops, yay, nay. Nay. Okay, you've been Shiano'd.
I think it's great. Yeah, we had it for a second time in the SEC of the last
Tennessee one too.
5, 6, 7 years here
with Greg Schiano,
where they just were like, "Hey, here's our coach," or "This is what's going to happen," and then everyone had a riot.
And then they said no. Social media canceled it. They canceled it.
Awesome. I love that.
Pretty
conference.
amazing.
UCLA plays at LSU.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, so
what a
there's a
weird
couple
schedule
of
for LSU.
there's a couple
That
of
is.
things here that I now that we don't have a vested interest in the Bulls, please give me Notre Dame LSU because I'd love to see Notre Dame's defense against
Okay.
Jaden Daniels.
That's a nice little.
And then I would
clash.
love to see, because of comments that he's made in the last week and a half, we need New Mexico State playing Minnesota in a bowl game.
Oh,
Once again, so they met it last year, Jerry Kill and
the
PJ
Jerry
Fleck.
Kill PJ Fleck Bowl.
Well,
we
Jerry
know how
Kill's in a
Jerry
bit-
feels
Jerry
about
Kill's
PJ.
in a better spot this year than PJ
Mhm.
Fleck is.
Yeah.
Fleck is, who is having a readjustment year. It's not year zero. It's not rebuilding. It's not reloading. He said after the game, it's a readjustment.
Good take,
God,
PJ.
he has a way with words.
What do you set? You just set that bar wherever you want to set it.
Did you hear a little bit of the controversy that's going on up there about the axe?
oh,
Yeah, well, they PJ was singing the song with his wife.
So I didn't know the backstory that on the final game of the year, they line up at midfield and they sing.
They sing the song.
Yeah.
The
all the
alma mater.
seniors.
Yeah.
Well, Wisconsin wanted to go from goalpost to goalpost, and
Mhm.
they were prevented from going to one end by Wisconsin staffers.
Right. Well, apparently this was quite a while after the game, like 12 to 15 minutes after the game ended. They're like, get them off the field. We want to cut down that goalpost with that axe. This is what we're supposed to do. PJ is like, no, thank you. I'm just going to stand here. I love the on that broadcast. It was like great camera work because on 1 second, the Wisconsin guys were all sprinting toward the other goal line. And then you could see the Wisconsin staffers like holding them up.
Yeah.
And they immediately cut to PJ and his wife singing the song. That was awesome.
now New Mexico State is slated to play in the New Mexico Bowl, according to Brett McMurphy. And you got to scroll up. Minnesota's in the Quick Lane Bowl against Ohio.
They need to make a trade.
Yeah.
Flip
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Flip it. Flip it.
I mean, you want these games to do numbers, right?
So how much enthusiasm
Minnesota wins them, though. They'll be
do you
vaulted
think there
in
will
next
be
year.
in Minneapolis to go to Detroit? You went to bed and you were not watching the end of the Colorado State-Hawaii game. So you're like, season's over. You wake up Sunday morning, you're like, oh, we got to go to a bowl game at 5-7.
What's so bad about that?
Yeah.
Against Ohio in Detroit. I mean, I guess it's a quick trip.
You're going
Go
to
to
Macland there. That's Macland.
Speaking of Ohio,
Nebraska was
so-
only 2 spots off of going to a bowl game.
No, no, you know
They
what?
were.
No,
They
I-
were.
No, I would have boycotted it.
Remember what that Foster Farms Bowl did?
I would not have talked about it. Losers of
Oh.
4 in a row, and you
Why are
back
you
into
so
a bowl.
against this?
You back into a bowl game
Yeah.
just because your kids like,
Yeah. It's another thing to be
go to
proud
school.
of. Yes. We love school.
No,
I
No,
I
no.
would have loved it.
no, you wouldn't have.
And then they would have won and everybody would have been happy.
No,
happy.
No, no.
And today we would talk about a
No.
bowl game.
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
I wouldn't have been going. I would have been sitting on my couch watching it.
To be fair to Gary, though, he said this far before.
I know. I know.
So he's been on this one.
I'm
for a while.
raging against Gary's take. Bad take, Gary. No,
Hey.
you take the bowl
Hey,
game and
I-
you care about
take
it.
the
It's the
practices.
difference between you and I when we park. I pull through, you back in.
That's fine. Then we're just those kind of people.
Yeah.
That's right. I back into the parking spots. That's
Losers shouldn't be rewarded. You play to win the game. You don't win the game, you don't get rewarded.
Tell that to Minnesota.
What are they?
5-7 going to a bowl game, baby.
They're
They got 15 extra practices.
5
What
and
this
7 go
does,
to a bowl game.
what,
PJ's going to
what
be like
this
next year.
conversation does, because now I'm getting fired up. I'm going to be here for a while. So everybody just relax.
Go ahead. Load it up.
Please.
That loss stings so much.
Oh, that was
That
horrible. That was the
loss-
worst thing ever.
One, because the first game of the year looked a lot like the last game of the year,
Mm-hmm.
but that loss, and this isn't new. We'd been alluding to that since then as we watched the season unfold for Minnesota. That's a terrible.
In 2
loss.
years, I will go
That is
back.
a terrible loss.
In 2 years, I will go back and I will watch the end of the 2023 Nebraska Iowa game, and I will say, "Holy God,
Yep.
what happened and what was this?" Much like I did in like somewhere in the middle of 2021, I went back and watched 2019 Iowa. It was the same game.
Yeah.
That was amazing. It was the exact same game.
Yep.
Somehow Nebraska, I mean, in the 2021 or 2019 Iowa game, Nebraska had the ball in a tie game with 2 minutes left, like at midfield, same exact thing, and they lost in regulation. Same thing.
Mhm. Cost a
Impossible.
mistake. Give the ball
Impossible.
back. Let you go ahead and do your thing special teams wise and beat us.
Iowa doesn't care. They're built for it. They're built different.
They're winners.
Yeah, but like they just love being in. I heard Cade McNamara talking about this on a podcast.
Oh,
and he was the clip came up on
how's his recovery?
Is this
by the way?
about
Twitter or whatever.
digging into the Iowa State game next year?
Yeah, well, so
Yeah.
it was in that.
Yeah.
It was in that bite. He was talking about the Iowa State game, and he's like, "Man, we won by so few. We were supposed to win by a lot. Like, what happened?" And then he looked around him and he goes, "No, that's just how it is here. That's how everybody. We're so comfortable
He's true.
in playing
Yep.
in these close games,
Yep.
regardless of who we're playing against.
Because they're
This is-
confident.
This is the deal.
They're confident.
So you get used to it, and then over a long time span, you just win them all. They are the cat that would never die.
Mhm.
They have 1 billion lives. You can't kill Iowa. You cannot kill them.
No,
You have to hope that they die of natural causes.
or they
So
call
they
for a fair
got a
catch.
little agitated.
Or they call
waiting.
for fair
So they were going to wait for Nebraska to come on the field first, and while Nebraska was coming on the field on Friday, they were going to run on the field. So they've got to fix something. You've been to a couple games. The tunnel walk takes way too long of how far they have to go to get onto the field,
Yeah.
and Fridays went on forever and ever.
Yeah,
and
they've had that
ever.
at a couple games this
So
year.
Iowa was like, screw that. They hadn't even opened up the doors because Nebraska was still like walking to the field. And so Iowa just ran on the field. And you're like, what is going on? Oh, here now they're ready to open up the gates. They got to fix that.
Well, I think Rule just likes to get his last words in there. You know, he's a speech giver. I think he sits in front of that door before it
No,
opens. And
You know what the
Okay.
problem was? He went and shaved.
the
Yeah, that
Fu
was
Manchu,
weird. Into the
man.
trucker
He did not
stash.
have that during
Yeah,
warmups.
no, he didn't.
I am so excuse me. I'm so sad they lost that game for that reason. Because if he would have had a Fu Manchu and they beat Iowa and
Yeah.
they went to a bowl game, the Fu Manchu is staying forever.
Yep, and it's just
And now we
it's-
never get to see it again.
It's getting more thickness. It's going
Ah.
to become even more glorious.
I can't. That was awesome.
Yeah, it
Wait,
was.
so he didn't have that in the pregame?
No,
No.
there's pictures of him talking. There's pictures of him talking to Ferentz, and he clearly still has like his beard.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Who made him do that?
I don't know.
What made
that
him
had
do
that had to be like a player
Oh,
incentive.
we got to
type
get the
thing.
backstory on that.
Yeah.
Why did he do the Fu Manchu? Because that was really awesome.
So Evan Cooper also had it.
Do you think Evan Cooper
Oh.
shaved them? Do you think they shaved each other?
They went.
Both questions.
Please do that. That's what we need on a Monday.
Did Evan Cooper shave Matt Rule?
Did Evan Cooper and Matt Rule shave each other?
Please. That should be up right now.
I'll do it, but I want an expressly consented green light right now from everybody.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
100% yes.
express consent.
My
Yes.
name's not on your show.
Yeah, I don't care.
That's good.
I think it's funny. Throw it up there.
Did Evan Cooper
And Matt Rule
shave each
shave each other. I think it's a fair question to ask. So Rule's going to talk at some point this week, and I would like that to be. I know there's other pressing matters, but I would like that to be.
Coach, we noticed during the game, before the game, he had the beard. Then he came out with the trucker Fu Manchu stash.
Yeah. So what happened there? I'm sure he'd love to talk
Explain.
about it.
Please explain.
Well, maybe because now he'll hop back on Twitter, right? Maybe he could do a tweet.
Oh,
about it.
yeah.
Yeah. So I was thinking about that Friday driving home, listening to you and Jimmy. 1019 The Keg, by the way, has a great
strong
yeah,
signal.
very strong
I
signal.
was
Mm.
I was in like Atlantic at the end of the game, and I was like, oh, I can't listen to Big Red Overreaction. Oh, wait, I can 1019 The Keg.
Well, you could also listen at 1620thezone.com or the 1620 The
Yeah,
Zone app.
truth.
Well, you know.
True.
Yeah, but it's better to just turn it on your radio. Like when you go into the parking garage at the stadium,
Yeah.
it's just nice to be able to turn on the radio and you can actually
It is.
hear.
No arguments.
Yep.
No arguments. Yes. Very clear. Crystal clear. So, yeah, you were thinking about Matt Rule back on Twitter?
Thinking about him.
Yeah, like,
does he jump on
Where
January
does he
1st?
start?
Like, I think New Year, right?
I think you got to do something for the seniors.
No,
You
no,
know,
like,
put
where
out
does
like
he
a-
start reading?
Oh.
Because
Oh, no.
that would be
is he-
quite the
Not the mentions.
roller coaster
Yeah.
of mentions.
Oh, gosh.
Just refresh the mentions thing, get the notification out of there, and just go to the
How many
timeline.
mentions do you think he has?
20 plus, I'd say.
Oh,
Explosive
I
plays.
mean, yeah. I don't think Twitter goes that high.
I can't.
I think it's just
Holy
when you get
smokes.
more than 20 at a time, it just says
Well,
20
you
plus.
also know that because the middle-aged girls that don't wear much clothing are all over Twitter. They don't
Yeah.
have some of those.
Sure.
Yeah, he got a lot of
You guys not getting
followers.
that?
No, he got-
not
he-
middle aged.
He got a lot of followers.
Now, hold on here.
the food.
Yeah, the middle age was. a
Okay,
little
hold
older
on.
than I
Is this
thought.
today? No.
Did he do a tweet?
So he, when Danny Kalin was at a game, the Purdue game, Matt Rule reposted it. This was on the 28th of October.
Whoa. That's what happened in November.
Somebody else is running it.
Jeez.
He went 0 dark 30, man. He was off there.
Apparently he awakened and you saw it happen in November.
Now, Matt on Twitter is calling us fake news.
Matt.
That Rule's not on Twitter?
He's got a pregame photo of Kirk and Matt.
Yeah. Hey.
Matt clearly has shaved.
Interesting. And the clock says 42-12 pregame.
Now, I've used my football logic. There is no quarter that's 42 minutes
That's
long.
right. This is 42 minutes before the game starts. So maybe they shaved each other before that.
All right. So Rule, when he was on the field in shorts and a hoodie, did not have a Fu Manchu.
Okay. All right. So there was a
now in this photo he's wearing khaki pants or
yeah,
joggers.
he was in full game gear at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So at some point pregame there was a shaving party.
Wow.
Wonder what kind of shaving cream they use.
I know. I feel like they're
What question?
Barbasol?
No.
They went straight edge.
I think they're Gillette gel guys.
You think so?
Yeah,
I
Gillette
love
gel.
the gel.
Yeah. I think they're Gillette gels.
I
Especially with
hate
it being
the
so cold
off-season, man.
outside. Got to see
I
that
hate
skin.
the off.
Come on, embrace it.
No, I'm not.
Embrace it.
I'm running out of time.
He did just have a birthday.
Kirk Ferentz is 68 years old. What are you? You're fine. You got plenty of time.
There's 7 years right now. There's no guarantee that they'll stop it.
It'll come
That's
back
true.
around. Don't worry.
It's true.
Don't worry.
I mean, eventually it just
It'll
has
come
to
back around.
accidentally
Look at
happen,
that
right?
schedule. Look at that 2024 schedule. Right for the picking.
Yep. It's backloaded.
Who cares?
Very maneuverable there. early.
I'm going to have to chase down some unknown transfer that's coming to Nebraska in 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, everybody go watch the Twitter follows of the recruiting people.
Yep.
Watch out because it starts today. Watch the Twitter follows.
Watch the FCS playoffs.
There's more than one
shining.
person says that they do have a commitment from a transfer that has a local connection. I don't know who that is. I'm being honest. But there's multiple people have said, yeah, Nebraska's kind of confirming and not confirming that they have a commitment from somebody.
And they play a position of note.
I have no idea.
Interesting.
Let's wildly speculate.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, well, okay, until they're here. They're like, well, they're coming. I'm like, well, who is it? I don't know.
Now, many people are referring to some of the local folks that Nebraska
Local folks.
had connections to at one point. I'll bring another one to the table.
Okay.
He was playing at North Alabama this year, slinging it around against Florida State before they got beat
13-0 lead.
by 70 in that game. But Noel Walters, I enjoyed watching
Well,
in high school quite a bit.
Let's go all in here. Xavier Watts. He has a decision to make. Is he going to return to Notre Dame, go to the NFL, or go to Nebraska?
Now,
No
if
question.
That's
If-
the decision.
if Nebraska
should go to
gets
the NFL.
like the
X-Man
defensive
has had a
player
great
of
year.
the year
Yeah.
in college football, which he's one of the finalists for that award, that would be an instance of panic around here. It would cause
this
an
is what
instance
you
of
would
panic.
do to obtain this. One, first of all, convince him that life is better in Lincoln than South Bend, and that you should skip this year in the NFL because I think he can go to the NFL. We'll hire your former high school coach, Paul Lamanji, because here's how you do it. You hire Paul Lamanji. He gets Xavier Watts back here, and he guarantees that Christian Jones, who used to be
There
at
you
Burke
go.
and is now at
I see
Westside,
it,
will
yep.
come to Nebraska in the class of 2025.
Done.
See what's happening though.
Yep.
OC.
Just I'm seeing a
Makes
lot of
sense.
Achilles injuries in the NFL. I don't know if you want to go pro yet. Wait till they get this turf
makes
grass
sense.
thing leveled out.
Yeah, come play on our turf. It's better.
I'm telling you. And also, why would you want to go? Why would you want to go back to Notre Dame? Because they open the year at Kyle Field. Do you really want to see the Colt 12th man, or do you want to come and play in Memorial Stadium and play against UTEP?
That's right. Bring them all in.
UTEP, baby.
Bring them all home.
Guys, Andy Katz has Nebraska 33rd in his Power 36.
Oh, look at that.
Just saying.
Too soon.
Just
I did the
We won't talk about basketball till Thursday.
this is the off season. I did the
Just wanted to throw that out there.
I did the average ranking, the average KenPom ranking of Nebraska opponents this year. Are you ready? They're 7-0.
I'm ready.
And the
Be kind.
average, this is just factual. People don't
I
like
know.
facts.
Oregon State isn't holding up their end of the bargain.
The average
Power
opponent
5 win, bro.
ranking of Nebraska basketball in their 7-0 start to this year is 240 on Ken
okay,
Palm.
that sounds about right.
Well, this gives you some wiggle room because there's 363 teams on Ken Palm.
I think there are 366 this year. I think we added a couple.
That's your point makes it look even better.
That's true. That's true. Hey, but look, 7-0 is 7-0, baby.
You can only play the schedule that you can afford.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah. Many people now, has the basketball AP top 25 come out this week? And are we riding because Nebraska's not in it?
It did come out yesterday, did it not?
I think it comes out.
No, it's a Monday. You're right.
And where might Creighton end up? Oh,
21st, 22nd.
Tumble.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the season's over there. It was
48,
nice.
48 points.
It was
I
a good
service. I hope Ed Service, the rumors of Creighton baseball being really, really good are going to be true.
Yeah.
Because basketball's over. Volleyball's only got max 3 weeks.
I had fun at that Iowa game, though. Jeff says people forget that Creighton got blown out. Trey Alexander, the lottery pick, went 1 for 16.
Yeah,
I'm sure people in Lincoln will remind him of that on Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah. People, I don't know if people forget that. We were all there.
Oh, the Shadur Sanders undisclosed injury has been disclosed.
Oh, good.
Is it a broken back?
It is a broken back.
Yeah.
Broken back.
How long are you out with a broken back?
Because
Because if he doesn't play against Nebraska, is it worth even having that game?
no,
I mean, Batman recovered pretty quick.
he did actually.
true.
Yes, and he did make the jump.
He
That is
climbed out of the
true.
gulag.
Yeah.
That is true.
That's true.
Yep. And I feel like they've got
Easy, Baja.
they've got better strength and conditioning and more medical resources than what that cave had. So
I hope so.
yeah.
I hope so.
Somebody's credit card is getting swiped.
Poll
I
question.
love that line.
Does Shador Sanders have more medical resources at his fingertips than Batman did in the gulag?
That's a lot to ask in the poll question.
Yeah, we got enough characters.
I think yes. I feel like the short answer yes.
That was a gulag, right? That little
Yeah.
hole. All right.
Does
Yeah.
Shadur
pit?
Sanders have more medical resources at his disposal than Batman did in the Gulag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't
I know
believe
they
we,
referred to it in the movie as the pit.
we don't talk about it enough that
Gulags?
Batman is he's the only person to ever do that, and he did it twice. Once as a little baby
Yeah.
and once as an adult with a broken back.
And
I mean, unbelievable.
Well, he's
and
the poster
still
child of
alive.
overcoming adversity.
He's at the cafe over in Paris?
Yep. Hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He dropped a
Michael Keynes over there.
dropped an
Hopefully that's not
atomic
a-
bomb.
Michael
Hopefully
Keynes.
that's not a spoiler.
No, yeah, he gets out of the pit, guys.
Well, he gets out of the pit and he drops an atomic bomb, and you think it's all over, and then later, old Alfred sees him somewhere else.
He did it twice.
Whose season was more successful, Nebraska or Colorado?
That is such a tough question.
Does being the talk of the sport for 3 to 5 weeks?
They'll tell you it was.
Yeah,
They'll tell
and
you.
what they were able to probably do from a recruiting standpoint,
Yeah.
even though I know now they just had a pretty big decommitment with their quarterback, but yeah, I would say even
So
having that month of
Hey,
September.
was that real that they're going to hire Warren Sapp?
Oh yeah, it's real.
Yeah, well, he's been around the program for like a month.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
He's a regular on the
So-
side.
Keep hiring Warren Sapp,
So,
please.
this is the only way to approach Warren Sapp being on Colorado's coaching staff. When Colorado comes here, week 2,
Everybody gets on their knees and huffs and puffs.
No.
You put like the gas.
You have the guys from the pipeline are standing on the field.
That would be amazing. Remember us?
And all you do,
Did you catch your breath
and
yet, Warren?
all you do is you show highlights of them running right at 76 in that
Yep.
game.
Especially in the fourth quarter.
Or no. Yeah.
Yeah, he
What
was
number
70,
Sapp?
yeah, he was 76. Yeah.
Just put all the shots up on the video board of him just
And-
on one knee on the ground. I can't catch my breath. I don't know what to do.
And then you get a bunch of strippers on the sideline.
Now we're cooking.
Allegedly.
Now we're cooking. Will Shador wear his watch next year when he comes to Lincoln?
And he's 0-6 since he showed off his watch.
Interesting.
Okay, now you got me interested in the offseason.
I'm
There's
just
the Colorado
saying.
game.
I'm just saying. The countdown re-begins. Somebody tell me how long we have, how many days until September 7th. September the 7th. Go ahead. Look it
Have
up.
we put the countdown back up?
And then we'll put
Is
it back up
there?
Well, we'll put it right next to our last time my country music award show happened, which we need to update. I think we're like 5 days behind. We're good.
Well,
we're
we
going
were
on
off.
20 days now.
We were off for 5 days.
We were.
Yep.
I'm not
Now-
coming in here on my day off and updating.
Now,
Mhm. Not committed.
now we also, with Warren Sapp returning for the CU Nebraska game, Don't we have to have Tommy Frazier and his famous quote after where Sapp asked him, where you been? And he says, not where I've been, it's where I'm going.
I love it.
And then he added something else that always gets edited out.
Interesting.
Thank you, Josh. Because I apologize. So Bruce Wayne did not jump out of the pit twice. He only did it the once. The other time it was the little Talia al Ghul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At first,
But he
we all
watched,
thought it was
yeah.
Bane.
But he watched. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. We thought it was Bane as the child. Then we realized it was actually Ra's al Ghul's child.
It's
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We got 285 days, by the way.
Oh.
That's what Joel said.
285.
285.
Right.
Not
So
you.
UTEP?
Time flies.
So-
We have,
Colorado.
we have a disparity in days.
Yeah, I do
Okay.
believe
What do
that's
you got?
too long.
What do you got, Josh?
278 according to Dave Fight and Husker Max.
Thank you. 278.
Yeah, I
278.
believe it's
Well,
278.
Anytime, just want to bump that number down to 265?
Yeah, let's
That
not
is
add
a
any more
long
time to that.
time.
Let's bring it down.
That is so many days. That's a lot of days.
I don't know, guys. Once we get inside 200, it just flies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait till we start talking about the best 99 ever to play in Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's going to be here before you know it.
It will.
Very
I hate
exciting.
this. I just
Come on. Come on. Come on.
I know everybody like on their bowl selection Sunday and like, people.
Oh, just wait till June 1st. We'll do a big welcome to the Big Ten celebration.
Yep. We got spring ball just around the corner.
We'll be talking Big Ten Network stuff. Like, oh my gosh, it's Oregon Day on Big Ten Network.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to show Joey Harrington games all day.
Yeah, Champagne Joey.
Maybe they'll play the
All
one
right.
where Scott Frost punched out LeGarrette Blunt.
Yep. Wait, and
I don't
punch him
think
out.
he
LeGarrette
punched
punched
his
and,
running back out.
and Scott Frost held him
I
back.
think he saved his career.
Yes. Scott.
got
Scott
that
we're
little
doing-
back.
No, we're doing
Frost
revisionist
punched
history.
out LeGarrette Blunt. And
So,
someone had
He
a-
held him back? No, that
someone
was
had a
awesome.
Scott
So
Frost
this
back.
discussion in 2018 was, man, did you see what a humanitarian Frost was? He saved that guy's career.
No, he
In
jacked him up.
2023, it's like
Scott
Frost got
punched
so
out.
pissed, not at the Boise State fan, at his own running back, that he drilled him.
He's a criminal.
He
I've been
pun-
saying for years he should go to
punched him-
jail.
He punched
Punched him
LeGarrette
out.
with LeGarrette's helmet on, knocked him out. Should
I
have gone to
remember-
jail.
Clear as day.
You realize that if Frost would have gone to jail, he would have been the head coach of Nebraska.
Exactly.
I see how this works. I can play this game. Now I'm interested in the offseason again.
All right. Now that we got Gary back, I think we could wrap it up on the crossover. Enjoy. Have fun with basketball today. York.
Hey, they have a chance to be 500.
Is it York College or York University?
It's York College.
York College,
The
yep.
Panthers.
Now their logo is YU.
Is it?
Are they York University?
I have
University
until
of York?
7:30 to figure that out.
They must have changed.
Let's just say the prep has been a little bit slow for old York.
I'm sure they got some Nebraskans on their roster.
They do. They do. They used to be really good in basketball.
So they're the York Panthers?
Yep.
See, the high school one's way better.
York Panthers.
They need to be the Dukes.
Who would give Omaha a better game tonight? The York Panthers or the York Dukes?
The Dukes.
Whoa. Hey,
No, it's not fair to the Panthers.
no respect to these guys.
No, I'm just saying the Dukes is just a cooler name. That's all.
No.
I can't give you any roster breakdown there.
How about Dylan Holston from Benson? He's on that roster.
Okay. So I mean,
That's the only one.
it's unfortunate that they are playing some NAI schools, but I would not look at tonight's slate in the Summit League. It is like South Dakota State's playing Mount Marty.
Oh, Mount Martin Yankton.
Nice.
Yeah.
I almost played baseball there.
It's
Nice.
it's a little rough scheduling in the league this year.
The Lancers.
You
They go to Texas Tech.
you
next
get the
week, so
non-conference schedule you could pay for.
That's exactly. That's the best way to look at it. People bitching about Nebraska's basketball schedule. It's the best schedule they can afford.
That is the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Sorry, the break threw me. The 5 days off threw me off. I was like, whoa, Everlevel. All right. That's Gary. That's Nick. Show starts next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
Hyannis, thank God you had Terry Keneally, or we would not like you in Omaha. I'm telling you.
I feel like Nebraska City's one of us.
I mean, Hemingford, you should have just gone to Wyoming. Why did you insist on staying in Nebraska? Same with you people in Whitney. Just go to Wyoming.
Go consolidate your schools.
Yeah. You know what, Crawford? You're not good enough for Wyoming. Just go to South Dakota.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
A cold start this morning and staying chilly for your Monday afternoon. Few clouds possible today with the high in Omaha 38 degrees. A bit breezy with west-northwesterly wind gusts possible up to 20 miles an hour. Mostly clear, cold again tonight. A low in Omaha of 18. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source. By your mom's house.
The holidays are here. This holiday season, we encourage you to come support our local stores in Omaha. And Westwood Plaza has everything you need to find that perfect gift. Chippy's in Westwood Plaza is Nebraska's only British market and bakery, offering food and beverages following traditional British recipes with ingredients imported from England. Whether it's pies, pasties, buddies, or even butterbeer, there's something for everyone. Stop in for some jolly good treats to make this year's holiday stand out. And a Chippy's gift card is the perfect gift to give. Stop into Chippy's British Market and Bakery, 123rd and Center inside Westwood Plaza. Ahi Sushi Ramen and Grill is an Asian fusion casual dining restaurant inside Westwood Plaza with a wide variety of Asian cuisine dishes available like sushi, hibachi, curry, ramen, and teriyaki. You're sure to find a favorite. If you're planning a holiday get-together, try a party tray from Ahi Sushi Ramen and Grill. Check them out at 124th and Center inside Westwood Plaza. Everything you need to shop locally for the holidays is at Westwood Plaza in Omaha.
Looking for a pure electric vehicle that does 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds? The eyes have it. The BMW i-Line. 100% electric, 100% sports car, 110% BMW. The BMW i-Line. The electric vehicle that takes you farther than you could ever imagine. Right now, lease a new BMW i4 eDrive 35 for $499 a month at BMW of Omaha. Online at bmwofomaha.com. See dealer for details.
Suicide can be prevented by knowing the warning signs, and most importantly, knowing what to do if you recognize those signs in yourself, a loved one, or even a stranger. There are simple ways you can be there for someone, so they can be here for more tomorrows. Visit moretomorrowsne.org to learn the signs, how to approach the conversation, and where to get help. Or call 988 for help now. That's moretomorrowsne.org.
Cyber Monday is here, and 1620 The Zone has your 60% off Cyber Monday deals. Go to cybermondayomaha.com between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. today for 60% off deals from Early Bird, Rodizio Grill, Lula Bees, Omaha Children's Museum, Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill, Muchachos, and the Woodcliff Restaurant. That's right, today only. Some of your favorites are 60% off. Go to cybermondayomaha.com between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. today for these 60% off The Zone Cyber Monday deals.
One of the most exciting days of the year is the first Tuesday after Thanksgiving. It's Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is a global day of generosity. Locally, we call it Giving Tuesday 402 in the Omaha Metro and Giving Tuesday 712 in Western Iowa. Here's Katie Forney of Share Omaha to tell you all about it.
Giving Tuesday is the biggest local giving day of the year in our region. It's a day for everyone to give in the ways that matter to them. You work it by going to shareomaha.org and finding those causes that touch your heart. When you give a gift of $100 to the Youth Emergency Services, you can feed 10 hungry teens at that street outreach center. And I love this. A wildlife rescue rehab donation of $50 can help an entire litter of rabbits and squirrels be rehabilitated and returned to the wild. Please go to shareomaha.org and find those causes that matter to you. In fact, you can give early. Giving is now open.
Plan now for how you can support local nonprofits that matter to you. Click shareomaha.org.
Remember the simple days of the home phone? You never misplaced that phone or lost a call because of spotty internet or bad reception. It was right there and always reliable, even in emergencies. Well, the home phone is back and better than ever with Community Phone. Community Phone offers landline home phone service starting at just $39 a month. And now get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-936-4134. There are no contracts. You don't need internet. You can make unlimited nationwide calls, and your phone works, even if you lose power. Plus, you can keep your current phone number or get a new one. With Community Phone, you'll enjoy all the modern conveniences of caller ID, voicemail, spam call blocking, and more. Today, get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-936-4134. Call 1-866-936-4134 today to get 50% off. 1-866-936-4134.
It's the Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Otson. Let's get ready to rumble.
Licensing of the phrase "let's get ready to rumble" just over the last 7+ years internationally is grossed approximately close to $400 million in retail sales.
Really?
You guys look like, what do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
On 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Monday. Happy first day of the rest of our lives. It is off season 2023-2024. We did get some clarification, by the way, from the conversation in the crossover. So we're at 278 until the first game, Nebraska UTEP. And we are at 285 until Nebraska Colorado round 2 or round 4, however you would like to look at it. 285. That's where the countdown is. Cannot wait.
Who are your 285 best offensive linemen of the 1980s?
285 instances of panic, instances of coaching malpractice, things of that nature. We could, Josh does lists. Does lists all the time. We can come up with one. But welcome to the show. And here we go. Off into the wonders of the offseason as Nebraska falls short of a bowl. We got basketball, though. And right after football ends, we welcome you directly to Creighton, Nebraska basketball week. People are calling it one of the most hype Creighton, Nebraska basketball games of all time. Nebraska does not play this entire week up until Sunday at 3. Creighton will make a pit stop in Stillwater on their way to Lincoln, kind of out of the way, but they will.
It's on the way back if you go a certain way.
Yeah, you trek down the highway in York, whatever that is.
Yep,
straight down.
Very familiar with that.
So here we go. We'll check in on some coaching searches that took interesting turns over the weekend, like Texas A&M, our friends over at Texas A&M. Michigan, Ohio State, of course. We'll get to many things Nebraska football related, including the game. And then, so I keep a few spreadsheets all season long. And so now the final results have been turned in for the season. And we'll get to what that looks like. Not very good. The offense was statistically the worst it's been since the 60s.
You've crunched the numbers, and it's official.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
So Sam had this one in his rewind yesterday. Nebraska didn't have a 200-yard passing game this season for the first time in the Big Ten era. Their 52.1% completion rate ranks as the second lowest of the conference era. The 6.1% interception rate is Nebraska's highest of the Big Ten era and highest since the 2004 season with Joe Daly and Bo Davis. That was a fun season, if people remember that correctly. We'll hear from Matt Rule. I'll ask if the 2024 schedule is really that hard. Yeah, we're setting the tone big time for the offseason. And we'll take a look at some of the spreadsheets that we have going on. But we, of course, hear from Iowa JD.
Hi, Iowa.
On the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, where you can tweet at us at Connor Happer, at producer_Josh, at Happer Show, where there are lovely poll questions up already, one involving Batman. Hi, Josh. Connor, people do forget Iowa beat Nebraska on Friday. People do forget. I don't think we've forgotten yet. I think we're still going to talk about that game a little bit today.
I was hoping we wouldn't.
I know, because we're in the sort of in between. It's like, the game ended. Yeah, the season ended. But it really all hung on the last minute 30 seconds of the entire season. And of course, that was when Nebraska's quarterback decided to throw an interception directly to the guy who was standing right in front of him. Bad call by him.
A lot of teams lose 3 13-10 games a year.
And that was the exact moment Nebraska also decided to have their most sure tackler and best defensive player miss a tackle completely.
Interesting.
In the hole. So
now,
that was nice also.
Real quick, I want to take a victory lap because I don't know if you noticed, both teams' first possession ended in a punt. plus 140. You're welcome.
Yeah, how was that plus 140?
It was great. I loved it. I cashed it.
Great job by you.
Also cashed the Iowa.
Josh, I said this in the post game. I did say Iowa would win 13-10. Iowa won 13-10 as predicted. And I just didn't think that Nebraska could out Iowa. And for a long portion of the second half, they were proving me wrong. I was like, you know what? Nebraska's kind of doing this thing right now. They're kind of out Iowaing Iowa. And then when Tommy Hill got the pick, I was like, oh, wow. Iowa just Nebraska'd Iowa. This is a total, we're totally changing the script here on this thing. And then, of course, Nebraska had to reestablish itself as Nebraska and then threw the interception and then did it again when they missed the tackle. And then then Iowa reestablished itself as Iowa, or Iowa reestablished itself as Iowa when they brought in their backup kicker and he barely dumped it over the post.
Still counts.
Still counts. It apparently still counts. So we're here for you guys, and we'll be here for the next 280 days getting ready for the 2024 season. Can't wait. There will be some pit stops in between. We'll take a look at the transfer portal and things like that over the next couple of weeks. Also, people will watch out on Twitter today. People just kind of announcing their intentions for the future. Nobody knows how old anybody is anymore. Nobody knows who's out of eligibility anymore.
Yep.
So you just announce what you're doing on Twitter. That's fine. We can all pay attention and we can update our spreadsheets accordingly.
I'm prepared to roll with the punches.
Or maybe that's just me. I want to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline. Mentioned the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed already at Happer Show there. The Equitable Bank inbox, Connor at 1620thezone.com. And we say good morning to our YouTube watchers this morning. Hello. Thank you for being with us. And stay tuned because really the season isn't over. There's the season, and then there's like the month after the season where you figure out what your 2024 roster is going to look like. And then boom, we could all think about winter workouts again. I wonder what the theme of winter workouts will be this year, Josh. They have to have a theme.
Who will be the 10?
Who will be the 10? Matt Rule is a huge theme guy, right? He's going to have a saying. There's going to be a saying. There's going to be a hashtag. There's going to be something that emerges over the next probably 7 to 14 days.
Print sweatshirts.
And it will be their moniker for the 2024 season or 2023, 2024 off season. Can't wait to find out. This is what we're looking for here in the next couple of weeks. This is what our lives are now. Let's start this thing off. We got Triggered Bob. Hi, Triggered Bob.
Hey, Hap. Hey, Josh. I don't know if you guys have seen Shawshank Redemption, but Morgan Freeman says in there, the worst thing you can do to a man is give him hope.
Oh, no. Come on.
It was just predictable. I mean, I don't know if you read Fitz's column, but we really didn't deserve to be in a bowl game. I mean, we don't have a Division I quarterback. It just was a rough season. I mean, just kind of pick out some positives, and I don't wish ill on anyone, but throughout the injuries, our offensive line somehow got better with the young guys. So, I mean, that's good.
Spirit, Bob.
Yeah. And I guess I'll have one comment about a tweet, and then I'll ask you a question about the season. I used to work with somebody who, around this time of year, they would see their Spotify, music over the year. And they said, oh, wow, this is so accurate. And I said, yeah, it's based off of actual data.
Yeah, you did it. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I listened to this song all the time. Anyway, I have a question for you. Why is the experience in Memorial Stadium so bad? I know they're working on it, but it just seems very, outdated, clunky. Here's to a good off season. I don't want to see any workout videos. No Big Red.
Okay, no workout videos for Triggered Bob.
Before you answer Triggered Bob's question
for you.
Can I tell you where the game day experience isn't terrible?
Yeah, Josh. Well, yeah, good start.
Titan Stadium in Lewis Central High School, where the number 2 Iowa Western Reavers will be hosting a playoff game this Sunday at 2:00. Free tailgate before the game. There's beverages at the tailgate too, and all that implies.
Yes, and
those are also free.
And you're telling me this is a playoff game?
A playoff.
So how many
game.
teams get into the playoffs? Like 84?
Just 4.
That's
and the
weird.
team Iowa Western's playing is from Texas. If you want to
Oh.
boo a team from Texas, come to Council Bluffs on Sunday. Thank you, Connor. The floor is yours.
Okay. Kilgore, right?
That's correct.
Former home of Omar Manning.
Yes, that's correct.
There you go. There, go and wear your Omar Manning shirts. Whatever. Why is the experience so bad? I don't know that it is. Obviously, having a winning product would help. I think the best that I can answer that is that there is a lot going on, at these games, and there's a lot of people to appease, right? But people often talk about this, and I don't disagree. Like you go and watch a game at Wisconsin, or you go and watch a game at Minnesota, and it just seems like the environment in there and the music selection or whatever it is really enhances what the crowd is up to. Now, that crowd those crowds know exactly who they are, right? They're drunk northern people, They're drunk. There's just a bunch of drunk guys. And not everybody gets to be that, right? So you gotta cater it to whoever's there, whoever's at the games. And frankly, a lot of Nebraska's fan base is, well, they're drunk guys, but in different ways, maybe older ways, in some instances.
There's no booze allowed in the stadium,
and so people will call in and they'll tell them. Trust me, I've talked to these people. The complaints that they get are off the wall. Off the wall. I'm like, imagine going to a football game and then coming back on Monday and complaining about that. They get that stuff. It's off the wall, and then they adjust, they make changes, and some of it they wipe off their shoulders and like, what are we supposed to do? Yeah, the music's going to be loud, and it might be modern even too. So I think they got to win some football games. It helps. Win games, as Josh will say plenty this offseason.
Win games,
but also, understand who you are. Memorial Stadium is a place where we talked about this before when they were talking about doing the new South Stadium, and it's like these 4 just kind of separate places and separate areas. And I think the South Stadium project will help that in a lot of regards. It'll help the noise in there. It'll help sort of people be in the right place and things like that. So I don't know. I can't speak to it that much because every time I go, I have a good time.
Remember the survey?
I remember the survey.
We're fixing all this.
Trev gave us the survey. He did. He gave us the answers to the survey as well. Nice of him to give us the key.
Mm-hmm.
VJ writes in on Twitter.
Hi, VJ.
Can I submit the punts guys for Josh's top 5 winners of the weekend? Chuckles elicited every time. Made that game somewhat bearable.
Oh, they were big stars on Friday.
Unfortunately, we canceled winners of the weekend.
Well, I still do it on Twitter.
Maybe we could bring it back on the air too. I mean, we are in the off season now.
We are in the off season.
There's no Matt Rule press conference taking up 60 minutes of the show anymore. So maybe
likes to talk.
Maybe we could bring it back. But yeah, I do love the punts guys. I don't know who they were rooting for, like in their hearts, but they were at the game and they were wearing gray sweatshirts that just said punts. And I like that the fact it was plural, right? It wasn't just punt, it was punts, many punts. And that's what it's all about. We got a lot of punts on Friday.
We sure did.
As we expected. And there will continue to be more punts. There's no doubt about that. As Nebraska trudges on in the artist formerly known as the Big Ten West and now just the Big Ten Conference. Somebody asked me this morning via email, I believe it was Doug, yes. He asked me, hey, so have you tabulated the wins and losses for Nebraska during the lifespan of the Big Ten West and where Nebraska ranks? I haven't yet, but it's a good spreadsheet idea. And we'll do that. Now that we have the entire Big Ten West and its lifespan underneath our belts, we could just look. I imagine that somebody already has this information. It's been published in places. I can tell you pretty easily Nebraska's conference record during that point. They go about 3-6 every year, with the exception of 2014 and 2016. Maybe one less, maybe one more in some years. But that's basically what they're pacing for. I would imagine that it's probably last or second to last out of West versus West over that period of time.
Oh, I don't like that.
That'd be my guess. But that's another project for the offseason. See, Josh, we're already coming up with stuff.
Yeah. Imagine 1 year from this week, the Big Ten championship game, an undefeated Michigan versus an undefeated Washington. I mean, come on.
Embrace it. Embrace your new life.
If this year was next year,
did you?
That's what it would be.
Did you, by the way? And we're going to talk about Michigan and Ohio State, but at the end of the game, there, Klatt was really waxing poetic about how
nothing will ever.
Nothing will
like
ever
this.
matter anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing will ever be the same anymore.
No game will have high stakes ever again.
And I was thinking about that, and I thought, like, okay, like it's definitely possible, if not probable, that if Michigan and Ohio State keep up their current pace, then they will both be in the playoffs. They're battling for a single playoff spot, basically right now. But like, it doesn't take any juice out of the game. The game is still gigantic. You're fighting for a first round bye, basically, in the playoffs. And then
those two teams still want to kill each other.
Yeah, and then in all likelihood, or in some likelihood, they'll play each other again in the conference title game, and then they'll both be in the playoff anyway. Like, I understand the sentiment there, but I just didn't think that was necessary at the end of the game, being like, hey, this is it, man. We might never get this again.
Can I share?
College football actually sucks starting right now.
Can I share something I've dreaded for damn near a decade now in this sport?
Yes.
I've dreaded the day where Michigan and Ohio State play each other, only to have the Big Ten drop divisions and the two teams with the highest winning percentage meet in the Big Ten title game.
Play
And
each other again.
Yeah, and then everyone bemoans, wow, college football is really terrible now.
I would watch Michigan Ohio State play every week.
I would watch those two teams run it back this week. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I would.
I'd watch them again in the national championship if they wanted to do that too.
Yep.
Okay, just so we're all clear on that one. That's good. One text before we take a break from the 402.
Hello, 402.
Connor, you've been on the air for an hour now, and I still have not heard an apology for definitely declaring that Nebraska is going to a bowl game after the Purdue game. Will you be issuing an apology?
Yeah, did you cancel those Vegas plans?
It's on the docket for today, Josh. Okay. I was waiting to see what happened with the APR just in case.
Okay, sure.
But Minnesota got the spot, and all of our bowl spots are occupied. I think maybe I'm going to wait for Minnesota to like publicly declare it.
Yeah, they have to like publicly accept it.
Yes. So maybe I'll hold for another few days. But yeah, obviously I'm hanging on by dear life. After Nebraska was 5-3, I feel like I had a come to Jesus moment. I was like, remember when I came on the air that Monday? I was like, I believe this is it. I felt it. I felt it in my bones. Nebraska's going to a bowl game. They're going to win one of the next four. Come on. You kidding me? They're probably going to win 3 out of the next 4. I just felt it. And I happened to be wrong. Nebraska lost the next 4 games, each of them in their own way, excruciatingly.
I believe the last 3 of them, the final offensive play was a turnover.
Nice. Cool. That's, yeah, I mean,
certainly on brand.
They were all 3 interceptions by Chubba Purdy.
Yes.
Who's the guy at quarterback?
His brother plays in the NFL. I don't know if you knew this.
Don't tell Random Mike. Don't tell Random Mike. All right. So should I issue an apology? Yes, I should. I'm sorry. Did I jinx it? That's up to you. I don't believe I did. I believe it's Nebraska's own ineptitude that got them kicked out of a bowl game. But I will take responsibility if that's what needs to be done, because I'm a man and I own up to things. I said it, and I apologize.
How many interceptions did you throw this season?
I don't think I threw any, not even in the Turkey Bowl.
Oh, okay. Well, look at that.
Kyle writes in, so Connor should be fired, not Satterfield. Look, I'm willing to sacrifice a lot for Nebraska to just be halfway decent again.
Oh.
But not my job. Okay. I need that. Poll question up at Happer Show. Would you watch Michigan and Ohio State play again on Saturday? So that's up. Make sure you vote realistically and not with what your take has been the entire time. All right. Connor, Josh, with you. We'll come back and fire things up in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, you notice it's like 20 degrees out. The weather is colder. And the only thing we have to focus on now is the NFL. And if you're a Carolina Panthers fan like me, the only thing you have to focus on is other things besides the Carolina Panthers. And that's betting the NFL with the FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, now is the right time. So do everybody a service. Go to the FanDuel Sportsbook. Do yourself a service. Go to the FanDuel Sportsbook and don't bet on the Carolina Panthers. Bet on the team that's playing against the Carolina Panthers. There's your money line bet, $5, and it's $150 in bonus bets. Head to FanDuel.com/Happer and kick off the NFL season with FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa, first online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
You can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift this Christmas morning. Join 1620 The Zone as we stuff the truck to benefit Toys for Tots. This Friday from 3 till 7 and Saturday from 11 till 4 at the Zone Studio parking lot off 50th and Dodge. Help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. All the info at 1620thezone.com with Molina Healthcare, 2 Men in a Truck, J-Tech Construction and Solar, Hy-Vee, and 1620 The Zone.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. Hey, everybody, it's Michael Zubir for Ted and Wally's. One of the things that Ted and Wally's does is go along with the seasons, whether it's the summer or it's the spring or it's the fall. And of course, the winter and holidays and the holiday flavors are amazing. Let me suggest a couple of them for you. Coffee beignet and ooey gooey cake. You are going to love both of them, and so will your family and friends. Swing by the 2 locations, whether it's Benson, next to Taste of New Orleans, or in the Old Market, and get the holiday flavors today. Grab a gift card while you're there as well, and always tell them Severe sent you.
This holiday season, give the gift of education. Give the gift of play, only at Omaha Children's Museum. From Black Friday through New Year's Eve, save $25 when you give the gift of membership. Members receive free daily admission to the museum, family fun weekends, early admission to our new interactive exhibits, discounts in the gift shop, and so much more. This holiday season, give the gift of fun, give the gift of membership with the Omaha Children's Museum. Visit ocm.org for more information.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Since 1972, family-owned and locally roasted Host Coffee Service has been roasting the finest coffee for businesses and restaurants. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
Remember the simple days of the home phone? You never misplaced that phone or lost a call because of spotty internet or bad reception. It was right there and always reliable, even in emergencies. Well, the home phone is back and better than ever with Community Phone. Community Phone offers landline home phone service starting at just $39 a month. And now get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-936-4134. There are no contracts. You don't need internet. You can make unlimited nationwide calls, and your phone works, even if you lose power. Plus, you can keep your current phone number or get a new one. With Community Phone, you'll enjoy all the modern conveniences of caller ID, voicemail, spam call blocking, and more. Today, get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-936-4134. Call 1-866-936-4134 today to get 50% off. 1-866-936-4134.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome back. We're the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Forgot to mention the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard, which includes Mike Schaefer and Mike Schaefer only. Will join us here in about 15 minutes. We'll parse through the game. We'll parse through the season. Sam McEwen will go back to being a regular Monday guest on our shows beginning next week.
Sam's back.
Sam is back. We haven't been calling him due to the Monday press conferences taking up a gigantic chunk of our show. So we just figured, I don't think I physically could talk to Sam McEwen for 5 to 7 minutes. I think it has to be 15 to 18 minutes.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I didn't know what you were saying there at first. I was like, oh my God.
No,
Sam's a great guest.
You got to get in there and let him cook.
Yeah.
And so we're just the facilitators of that conversation. And so, yeah, we'll bring him back next week, and we are happy to do so. I read you the stat that he had in his rewind on Sunday. Josh, let's go to the audio from the post game here, if we can get ready for this.
I'm kind of ready for it.
So, on that, I wanted to get to the conversation about Chubba Purdy. He was asked about Chubba and his performance, and the question was actually well, so aside from the interception, how'd you think Chubba did? And I just want
aside from the play, Mrs. Lincoln. Aside from the other thing, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
I just want people to listen closely to this conversation, and this thing from Matt Rule, because oftentimes he'll answer the question or he'll have his first thought, and then he'll start kind of going down a different road. And I just want to be a little bit more crystal clear on what he's talking about here. Here's Matt Rule on Chubba Purdy.
I thought Chubba was, a little bit a little bit sporadic early. There wasn't a ton of pressure, and just kind of told him, hey, settle down and keep playing, play the plays. I thought he started to do that. That was a cold, windy day, and I thought he handled those things well. Obviously it's protecting the football, right? That the one, while I know his arm, he's trying to throw the ball forward. That's a fumble that leads to them having the ball. We have the ball down at the 20 going in. So, again, talking about the margin for error, we can't turn the ball over. Even if we get it back, just we put the ball away, run for a first down, and that's how we end those games. So there'll be a lot of, I know people always think you fix things by hey, let's go get this player or that player. We got a lot of really good players here. And a part of fixing these close losses is, just asking each player to get, half a point better and learn from these things and understand the situational football. Situational football will be way different next year when it's talking about our games, right? Tommy picks that pass off, and man, we have a chance to go win the game. So I thought Chubba did a really nice job, made some big third down conversions. I mean, I'm looking at this, we're 8 of 17 on third downs, one of our best days. So, and that's a credit to him. He's only going to get better.
See, there was a Chubba part, and then there was the middle, and then there was another Chubba part in there. Chubba did fine. Chubba's only going to get better. In the middle, there was a lot of people are going to talk about us going out and getting new players. But what we're going to do is we're going to ask our players to get better.
Half a point better,
which wouldn't quite do it in that game, by the way.
Well, no, I disagree. If 52 players got half a point better,
oh yeah,
Nebraska's blowing teams out of the water.
That's right. They won by 4 touchdowns. Yeah. So I wonder why that came up in the conversation about Chubba, and if he tipped his hand at all about how he feels about him. Now, I think as a coach, you say that after the game anyway, and you say, "Hey, look, this guy, we want Chuba to be here." I think it's obvious that Nebraska needs to go into the portal, but that brings up the question of what are they looking for, and that will drive the conversation over the next month or so. What are they looking for? Who are they looking for in the portal? Not what kind or style of quarterback are they looking for, but what's their background and how old are they? And where do they, would you rank them above Chuba Purdy or would you rank them below Chuba Purdy? Is Matt Rule going into the offseason under the impression that Chuba Purdy is Nebraska's starting quarterback in 2024? Maybe. I don't know if we want to read like all the way into that, but when you think about the transfer portal in general and not just quarterback, you listen to what they say, and it's very obvious what their sort of mindset is going to be in the portal. They're going to be pretty conservative with this. So if you're sitting around and you're expecting them to, get a whole bunch of 5 stars and pay guys millions of dollars in NIL money to come out of the portal, and whether it's play quarterback or play running back or play wide receiver or play defensive back, like whatever you think they need, play offensive line, I just don't think that's how they're going to approach it. I would imagine that they fill some holes in some places. You have to use the transfer portal to your advantage. You can't just Dabo Sweeney it and say no thank you. You can't just Iowa it before this year and just say no thank you. It's amazing, by the way, that Iowa took those transfer portal guys and they ended up doing the exact same thing, mostly because the transfer portal guys all got hurt. They lost their quarterback and their best tight end, both transfers from Michigan.
Soft mentally because they entered the transfer portal, soft physically because their bodies broke down.
So I wonder if that sets the tone a little bit for the offseason conversation. I just want to be clear. If you're sitting around waiting for them to do big stuff in the portal, I just think you're going to be disappointed. So don't get your hopes up too much. I think they're going to be pretty conservative about this because I think they believe in what they're doing, first of all, and I think they believe in what they have coming back. If you look at the guys that they're losing, yes, they'll miss Luke Reimer. They'll miss Billy Kemp a little bit as well, even though it wasn't a complete season for him this year in his one season at Nebraska. But I think they're going to be very careful with what they do in the transfer portal, and maybe, just maybe, that includes quarterback. I think actually, especially that includes quarterback.
Chance on YouTube.
Hi, Chance on YouTube.
Good comment here from him. I don't think Rule wants quarterbacks transferring at the last minute like last year. Casey's departure hurt us. We need to at least keep Purdy as
I think
backup.
That's definitely part of it.
Yeah,
that's definitely part of it. So it's amazing how much the conversation has shifted over the last couple of weeks, huh? It's like, what's Chuba gonna do? Not that I care. And now, he's your front runner. I think for the guy in 2024, I always do this. I mean, we're in the transfer portal age of college football now. Nebraska's cycled through a few of them. Transfer portal quarterbacks like Tanner Lee and Casey Thompson, and now Jeff Sims and Chuba Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
So they've cycled through a few of them. So we do this at the beginning of every offseason, and I wonder what you think about this right now. If there was an odds board on who takes the first snap at quarterback for Nebraska in 2024, what does it say? And I could even get, I give you some people, and I can also give you categories. Right? So
I would like the field.
Chuba Purdy gets his own category.
Sure.
Transfer quarterback gets his own category.
Okay.
Freshman quarterback gets his own category. So in this case, it'd be Daniel Kalu, unless they randomly take another guy for 24 that they just happen upon, which I wouldn't expect at this point. And then I guess you can have your subcategories of Heinrich Harburg and hell, Jeff Sims, I guess, if you want to.
Plus 10,000.
What would the odds be on those guys? And who would be the leader? Who would be the odds-on favorite? Is it Chuba or is it transfer guy?
I think transfer guy, but I think it's a lot closer than it was 10 days ago, 14 days ago.
Yeah, because just like I just explained, that it's, it's not going to blow you away. And at least I don't think. That's just my read on the situation right now. I don't think it's going to blow you away in the transfer portal. They're going to get somebody. They're going to have to bring in somebody, maybe two.
And it might feel a lot like last offseason felt like, where, okay, we're going into a competition that sounds like it might actually be an open competition, not like when a coach says it's an open competition, but behind closed doors, it's actually already signed, sealed, and delivered to somebody.
Maybe we are headed down that route. Now that depends on, of course, who they get. Let's go back to some audio from the post game on Friday, just quickly before we get to Schaefer here. So I thought this was a good kind of summation of the season and really the whole thing. When you pull back, hey, Nebraska went 5-7. Yes, but they just got done losing to Iowa, and they lost in some of the same ways that they've been losing games the entire season. They turn the ball over too much. Their margin for error is super thin. They just can't afford to do it. Number one here, Rule was asked about some common threads between all of these close losses. Here he is.
Oh, it'll all be fixed. Yeah, I mean, will improve. Maybe this is about where we are right now. Whereas sometimes people see it from the outside, like, man, they messed that up, or another short loss. I look at it as like, these guys, I mean, how many guys go down and they just continue to put guys in and we just battle, right? Like Newsom goes down in this game. Buford didn't really play in this game. Blaze couldn't go in the game in pregame. We just keep putting, Sua Lefotu's out there like in his red shirt, you're playing nose. You know what I mean? Like what might to the outside world look like, man, to me looks like unbelievable job by a lot of people to get everything this close and to battle like this. And so that doesn't excuse to the question about the time, having to call a timeout there, your last timeout. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? But there'll be a day where we'll have, 7 wide receivers traveling with us and active, and those things won't happen. We're just not quite there yet. And that's why I'm so proud of these guys, because they battle and they fight, and, we don't make excuses. We just come back. But I think that's the key. Moving forward, I'd love to, I think they ran the ball on us at times. I think we had to continue to develop our run defense and our ability to run the football. We couldn't run the ball in the game to the level that we wanted. And that's what they do really well. And so he's been there a long time. They have a formula. We came down there, we battled, just couldn't quite get it done.
So the question was, right, the question that we always ask is, did they maximize, right? Did they get enough out of the season? And Matt Rule just told you his opinion on that question. He's right there in the middle. He said, I know a lot of people look at like, man, we fell short in all these areas, but I look around and I see a lot of guys who are stepping up just to get to the point to where they were. Which you don't have to buy it. I mean, you don't have to buy it. A
lot of people won't.
I don't think that I would. Like, you look and you say, well, yeah, that's cool, but Nebraska left it short like 4 or 5 times this year, and it was its own undoing based on what they had. Matt Rule will tell you otherwise. Matt Rule will tell you maybe this is just where we are right now. Maybe this is just where we are right now. We're just not there yet. Thus, our quarterback is throwing interceptions because our quarterbacks have been throwing interceptions all year. We've just this is kind of where we are right now. And it's a process, right? I got some stats for you later on as I look through my first spreadsheet of the offseason, just updated basically, results, game results. So I have it running for Matt Rule's entire career, entire college coaching career. And I also have spreads attached to all of these games. So I'm going to give you this one to hang on to for a little bit later. And I tweeted it out late last night. Sorry if you're not on late night Happer Twitter, where I'm just tweeting out spreadsheet deals.
I am. # Josh Dodd.
So they won, to piggyback off of what he said, they won a 1-score game this year, technically, an 8-point win against Northwestern.
Still counts.
First time in Matt Rule's career that he won a 1-score game in year 1. So that would include 13 Temple, 17 Baylor, and 23 Nebraska.
Just his first year,
just his first year at those spots. He's now 1-14 in 1-score games. Outside of year 1s and the rest of his time, not year 1s at Temple and Baylor, he went 12-10 in 1-score games. Against the spread. 13 Temple, 17 Baylor, 23 Nebraska, first years, 16, 19, and 1 against the spread. Outside of year one, so the rest of his time at Temple and the rest of his time at Baylor, 42, 23, and 1, which is an obscene number against the spread. 42, 23, and 1. So whether you like it or not, I believe these numbers sort of come up, probably not the spread stuff, but this is kind of part of their process. Are they on track is a question that we could ask today. Are they on track? Are they ahead of schedule or are they behind schedule? We're all beat up from the loss, and the loss is, it still feels like a missed opportunity for Nebraska, and you can't convince me otherwise of that. But I think they look at it and say, you know what? Damn shame we missed out on the bowl. Couldn't make one more play, but what we're doing is working, or it's on its path to working, as it normally is. So we'll get to that a little bit later on the show. These are all questions, of course, that we'll ask Mike Schaefer, who is our next guest on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
It's easy to see the common signs of transmission trouble.
If your engine revs before it falls into gear. If it seems to switch gears for no reason. So watch for the signs. Certified transmission, the job done right at the right price.
Visit Sid Dillon Chevrolet, Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer, to find the perfect vehicle for wherever your plans take you. Shop SidDillonChevy.com. Chevy, find new roads.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Bling in the holidays with Saul's. All jewelry in stock up to 50% off. All sterling jewelry up to 70% off. Watches starting at $19. Diamond earrings starting at $39. Bling in the holidays with up to 50% off jewelry at Saul's Jewelry alone.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know? Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here with Dr. Lance Kugler of Kugler Vision. You know, it's been 5.5 years since I had my procedure done at Kugler Vision. I remember going in for the eye analysis and finding out, hey, there's something other than LASIK. That seems to be such a misnomer with so many people, but that's not always the case because there are actually 7 forms of modern vision correction.
Sure, yeah, and obviously LASIK is a huge part of what we do, but as technology improves over the years and over the decades, we continue to add different technologies that become better options for people depending on what they need.
Yeah, and one of the things that I found absolutely incredible was the eye analysis process. You want to know as much about anyone's eyes as you can because that's how you figure out which of those procedures are going to qualify for.
Yeah, our eye analysis process is the most thorough evaluation of your eye that you can possibly have. We all have the same goal. We want you to see as well as you possibly can.
Schedule an eye analysis today. You can visit their website, KuglerVision.com.
Giving Tuesday is our biggest local giving day of the year. On November 28th, let's celebrate what the Metro can do together. Donate to your choice of local nonprofits on Giving Tuesday and year-round at shareomaha.org.
All right, we'll try and get a hold of Schaefer here as we return on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. We got him? I think. Okay, that's good. That's what you want to hear. I think we got him. Mike Schaefer joins us now on the 42 Degrees The Source hotline. Hello, Schaefer.
How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
I was pretty good up until about 5 minutes ago, where we had some furniture delivered, and we thought we'd be smart and save some money and just have them bring it into the garage.
Oh, no.
Me and another couple people would be able to move them in because the salesman said that, it should only take you and another guy. None of it should really be that heavy. No, I'm screwed. So that'll be fun.
What is it? Is it a giant couch?
No. I'll refrain from saying what it is, but
okay.
It definitely is not just a simple box in which two people can just pick it up and bring it in. So we should have paid the money to just have them do it.
Always.
What I always advocate for.
Yes.
Allow the professionals to be professionals, but there's always the cost saving method of you could do it yourself.
It's amazing,
and it fails every time.
I recently bought a new refrigerator, and I was not looking forward to oh man, what are we gonna do with this thing? So basically, step 1, my refrigerator broke. Step 2, went to the store. Step 3, I had a new refrigerator, and it was the same as my old refrigerator that worked all the time. It was great. They took the old one out. They brought the new one in. I didn't have to do anything. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, and then the fridge cart is pretty fantastic. I mean, these guys brought in, there's like 6 boxes, but there's 2 of them that are significantly larger than we were told. And they're using like the little cart, like the furniture cart.
Yeah.
So now I've got to go wrangle one of those because there's just no way me and multiple other people are going to be able to pick this up and then get it through a door frame. So shout out to that salesman who's definitely not listening right now.
Schaefer. Okay. As we move on to football, remember when we did the QB odds board? As I think this is going to be an off-season tradition now. We basically have categories and then a combination of categories of people and people that get their spot on the odds board. Who is occupying the favorite as Nebraska's quarterback for 2024? Is it Chubba Purdy or transfer portal quarterback or somebody else who's also on the board?
You're just leaving off the possibility that Heinrich Harburg just wins the job?
No, he gets a spot. He gets a spot.
Okay.
I think
All
he's
right.
further down on the board than Chubba is, but that's just me.
Gotcha. I would say that your most likely starting quarterback for 2024 is not currently on Nebraska's roster, so that would be a transfer portal addition.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where I would put your lowest odds, highest odds. I never know how to say this in the inverse of what it is.
Best odds.
Best odds. There we go. Cheat. Do that. Yeah. So your best odds are going to be on that, and then it's probably some combination of Harburg or Purdy would be your next 2. After that, I mean, I don't even know that you even have to list anything else. It's not going to be Jeff Sims. It's not going to be Daniel Kalen, who would also qualify as not currently on the roster.
He would get his own category
question,
too. He would be like freshman, or you could just say Daniel Kalen.
The most interesting part of it to me is what type of quarterback they sort of choose to identify. And I don't even talk about his playing style. More so, like, are they going to be looking for a young quarterback that goes into the portal because he's not going to have an opportunity at a prominent school? Or are they going to be looking for a grizzled veteran that maybe isn't outstanding but can certainly lead scoring drives and doesn't have to be the best player on your team and can utilize the people around him? Are they looking for the unicorn, the guy that can come in and be an absolute stud and you can feature in your offense? And then how many? Do you have to mix and match here? And so it is very, very interesting. Yet again, how Nebraska is going to choose to go portal shopping for its now 3rd quarterback post Adrian Martinez. So, it's always kind of fascinating, like the wild roller coasters. You get the guy that's there for 4 years and it doesn't quite go how you want. You go to the immediate help line and that hasn't really gone how you wanted. Nebraska football doesn't quite go how you want.
And
be the tagline.
As always, the situation sort of dictates this. So it's like you're at the mercy of who's in there and then who you have connections with and who you can get. But you made the point at the end there, like they have gone to the well of let's do the quick fix 1 year guy and see what happens now 3 times. And I wouldn't say that it worked out horribly with Casey Thompson, but it didn't, get him enough wins to get to a bowl game. Same thing with Tanner Lee, and the same thing with Jeff Sims, obviously this past year. I would imagine that they go away from that category. Like that's a thing that seems like a prerequisite to me. Let's get a guy who can be here for a couple years and see what happens.
Yeah, well, and in the case of both Casey Thompson and Jeff Sims, that individual and Chubba Purdy had multiple years of eligibility. So it's not, they haven't really truly done the 1 year Sam Hartman type of thing, which I think obviously Nebraska would have signed up for. Sam Hartman was interested. I don't know if that version is out there. I find myself mostly fascinated by the idea of if Nebraska's transfer portal quarterback could be a guy that didn't play much or if at all in 2023, and how the fan base would react to that person being brought in and then put in a competition with Purdy and Harburg, and your quarterback just comes out of that, but it's not necessarily someone that has like a big track record. Like, do you think that's a possibility that Nebraska's next starting quarterback, if it's not one of those two guys, but it's someone that comes out of the portal and maybe they have less than 50 career pass attempts or something?
Yeah, I do think that's possible. Yes.
It almost seems like, I don't want to say it's more likely, but I almost expect them to get someone of that nature. Now, if they get a veteran to go on top of it, that could be really interesting. But it almost feels like with what you saw out of Chubba Purdy the last 2 games, what you experienced with Heinrich Harburg, that if you have one of those guys, if not both of those guys back, and they choose to stick around, you'd have some experience. Now you could kind of shoot your shot on, an upsidey young guy to try to develop and see if he just wins that job right off the bat.
Okay, I like that. So maybe you just created the dream scenario. You bring in a guy who can, who's probably a grad transfer and is here for a year, can step in and, do whatever Jeff Sims was supposed to do this year. And then a second guy who, how did you refer to this younger person? Upsidey? Yeah.
Upsidey.
I like that. I think, did we just create the dream scenario for what they're doing in the portal? Like the Christmas
Here's
gift?
The dream scenario. You go after South Dakota State wins its 2nd straight title, their quarterback chooses to then see what he could do at the next level, and you convince Mark Gronowski to stay in the Midwest and to move 1 state down. I mean, that's your dream scenario. That's a veteran quarterback who needs Nebraska because he needs to prove that he can play in the Big Ten. He's a guy that I think could transition relatively quickly. I'm not saying there's anything to this, by the way. Yeah. This is all just a Mike Schaefer original right here. But that's the kind of player I think Nebraska could end up with. The sort of guy who was a multi-year starter at a Group of 5 school or an FCS school who's now looking for an opportunity. Dakota Prutup, if you will.
Yeah.
Or the other kid that went to Oregon, whose name I can't remember. The quarterback, I think, is from Eastern Washington.
Oh, yeah, the guy after Mariota.
I cannot come up with the name for the life of me, but that might be a route Nebraska could look at as well. I mean, there's a lot of options. It doesn't just have to be like, a former Power 5 quarterback that's losing his job to somebody but has experience, so you go try to see what he could do. Like there's different routes that this can go.
Vernon Adams.
That was the name, yeah. I could not come up with it. Man, I wanted to say Jordan Adams the entire time.
I wanted to say Ward, but then that was Washington State this year.
Cameron Ward, good quarterback. Yeah. Another one of those, FCS jump guys. Now he went with his head coach, I believe, went up to go be the offensive coordinator at Washington State. And obviously it hasn't gone great up there either, but that'd be the type of quarterback that you would really love to find if you could.
Hell, maybe he grad transfers out and gets into the portal too. That's the other thing. Like you have no idea what's going to be out there in terms of quarterbacks. But I'm with you. Like it feels like it's going to be relatively conservative. I don't think they're going to be whoever the big like 3 names that go into the portal from the quarterback category are, I don't know if Nebraska will be in there unless they really have a connection.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Pratt is the big one, right? Like the Tulane quarterback.
Yep.
Like that's the one that people have suggested maybe he's not going to go into the NFL draft, which is stunning to me with the league where it is quarterback wise. You'd almost assure yourself first round pick status because of just how desperate NFL teams are for quarterbacks at the moment. So, but if he's in the portal, I mean, that's the number one guy. And the problem for Nebraska would be you'd have to pony up more money than I think they would have ever paid for an entire class, because that's what teams are going to do to try to get a hold of that guy.
Okay, I'll just leave this one broad out there for you. So we got through the quarterback stuff. What happened on Friday? What's your best summation of what happened on Friday?
I mean, it's kind of a continuation of what we saw at the end of last year and what we've seen multiple times this year. I mean, Nebraska's only really capable of putting up a few scoring drives. The margin for error is really small. The defense isn't able to completely do the job for Nebraska. They're on the wrong end of some, calls that seemingly every week that you could probably go back and forth on. I mean, the Lynham call in that moment, relative to pretty much every other play for both sides. And then just some atrocious spotting. I mean, the Big Ten officiating, just a wonderful year all the way through. It was great to see it on full display in that Ohio State-Michigan game as well. So yeah, I mean, it just feels like the margins are so small and Nebraska can't stay out of their own way. I mean, you turn the ball over unforced at times, like Chuba's 2 turnovers, basically, where he just sort of like loses the football on one of them, and then the interception. I mean, that's just one where he needs to be able to see that guy. He's right in front of him. So they just couldn't overcome their own mistakes. It's been the story for Nebraska football for a long time. I don't think that they're getting a big enough lift sometimes in terms of overall coaching strategy. I don't always understand what Matt Rule is attempting to do. I still am fascinated by the fake field goal into the wind.
Oh my God.
60 yards out explanation, which it very well could have been what they were going to do.
Oh, I believe him. Why? I mean, why would, who are you going to fake out on that?
On top of it, like, why would you use the timeout? Like, that's the part of it that I just don't understand. I mean, it just takes a 5-yard loss. It's not going to really dramatically affect where the ball's going to go on the punt anyway.
Yeah.
So, so there's a lot of things that can be cleaned up. And at the same time, it's tough because it felt like one more win, any of those games flips to a different result. You can talk about how this year was a pretty big success for Matt Rule. And so you've got to be able to separate both the disappointment, the inability to get to that 6th win, the fact that a lot of these losses feel familiar, the fact that there's some questions about game management and clock management from a veteran head coach that you just don't know if that changes overnight. You have to weigh that against where they are right now versus where they were last November. And I think they're unquestionably a better football team. I mean, they're better up front. They're better on defense. I think they're a deeper football team. I'm really excited about the youth on this football team. So you have to be able to kind of separate your brain into 2 different categories. But here's the problem, Happer. Every offseason, there's things to be excited about, and Nebraska doesn't seem to capitalize on it. And so here's where Matt Rule can really make things different. You need guys like Jalen Lloyd and Riley Van Poppel and Prince Will and Cam Lenhart and all these other guys that flash for you. They can't just stay the same.
Yep.
It can't be the same version of the same player 3 years later where you're like, that was nice, but it wasn't enough. But that's where Scott Frost, it felt like they had some freshman flash, but they just didn't get better. They need to get better. Like, this is where your young guys have to show you in 2024 that they are better players. Your offensive line needs to be better. Your defensive line needs to be better. Slider needs to be better. Everything needs to be better.
They really developed this year, man. Like, as you lost 3 games, 13-10, and you lost another one in overtime, and you're just like, man, you're so close to being a completely different deal. But all those guys were just on the field so much. I just there's no way that doesn't come back and help them in the years going forward. Yeah,
well, and that's what you're betting on. I mean, that's what you're banking on. And there's certain positions where you still have questions, right? Like we don't know how we feel about quarterback. I don't know how I feel about running back.
Yep,
I feel
agree.
like Nebraska has to go out and get a real Big Ten running back, and they haven't done that in however many years. I mean, it just like the only running back that I can think of that's not named Amir Abdullah that would sort of qualify as what you see around the best in this conference would have been Dedrick Mills, and he was horribly underutilized. And even he came with sort of a ceiling above him. But they just have never had that running back to make life easier for him. And I don't think it's on the roster. I didn't going into the year. I didn't understand their enthusiasm for the running back room to begin with. And as much as I like what I saw out of Emmett Johnson, it doesn't feel like he's. Does it seem like that's a guy that 2 years from now we're talking about as an all Big Ten type player?
No, I think they capped him purposefully this year. Like if you look at all of his game logs, they look exactly the same. It's like 14 carries for 74 yards, and that's good. But I agree with you. Like I think he could be a really good ancillary piece to what you already have.
Yeah, I just think that there's a level jump that they need there. And you know, EJ Bartell's one of those coaches where it's like, all right, I didn't see it this year. Hopefully, you know, he gets an off season to continue to implement and work with these guys and we see something maybe a little bit better. I also, I mean, I've ranted about this now for half a decade. I've just never been a big committee guy. I don't understand sometimes who's on the field, why they're on the field, when they're on the field. And we saw that a lot this year where the rotation for stuff just sort of felt out of sync at times.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like you would have the right guy in the right situation out there for you, a lot of it. And so I hope that gets tighter and a little bit better as these coaches continue to work together and moving forward with that offense.
All right, Schaefer. We'll let you go. We'll let you know when we come up with our list of top 5 instances of malpractice or instances of panic, you know, and do that entire offseason bit. So we got a long 9 months ahead of us.
Yeah, well, we don't want to go too hard in the paint too quickly because you got to be able to, you got to space it out a little bit. Because there's nothing else about Nebraska football. We've always got an abundance of time to talk about.
Oh, there will be so many more spreadsheet ideas by the time like January rolls around. I'll be diving into the numbers so much.
I love it. Love to hear it.
All right, Schaefer. See you later.
If you got a free moment in time and want to drive to Lincoln, I got some furniture that needs to be moved.
Okay, so I'll definitely let you know about that.
All right, thank you.
Mike Schaefer of Husker 24/7.
All right, so Connor and I are going to go out there and do that real quick. You guys listen to network programming until we get back.
Sounds great. Sounds great. We'll definitely talk about the rest of the coaching carousel and whatever unfolded over the weekend. The big move was, in my opinion, Michigan State going to grab Jonathan Smith. I want to talk about that job and the job that he left also, which it seems it is down to 2 finalists for Oregon State. One being former Nebraska linebacker coach Trent Bray, and one being former best friend of former Nebraska coach Mike Riley, Paul Christ. Potty Mouth Paul.
Oh yeah, that's what they call him.
Up for the job there. So we'll discuss the carousel as it rolls on in the noon hour. Josh has the odd news when we return on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The job of a good sideline reporter, in my opinion, is to relay information about injuries or maybe some sideline stuff that is happening with the team. Okay, let's go down to Melissa Stark. Melissa, what are you seeing down there? She'll tell a story about, these guys were getting into it. It's like, okay, that's interesting. It's just a little extra background, a little extra color.
It's having some eyes down on the field.
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Skies clear this afternoon and tonight, staying chilly with the high today of 38 degrees, still feeling like the lower 30s though. Gusts possible out of the west-northwest up to 20 miles an hour. Clear skies tonight will help drive temperatures down. Cold with a low of 18 in Omaha. Luckily, winds staying light out of the northwest up to 10 miles an hour. Few clouds possible tomorrow, but mostly sunny by the afternoon, breezy and cool. A high Tuesday of 43. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620, The Zone.
What does Saul's loan on? Almost everything, like jewelry, gold chains, bracelets, earrings, wedding rings, and high-end watches, guns, electronics, $10 to $50,000, super fast and easy with no credit check. Saul's loans on almost everything.
Sure, you could go elsewhere for your health and wellness products, or better yet, why not just come to 42 Degrees? Those other places don't even come close to the wide variety and premium disposable e-juice, CBD, Delta, Kratom, glass pipes, vaporizers, and other great products. With the friendliest, most knowledgeable, and professional staff who will find the right products just for you. If you're looking for a one-stop shopping experience, look no further. 42 Degrees. By your mom's house.
Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of holiday joy at the Home Depot, where you can find everything you need to get ready for the holiday season, like all new festive outdoor decor. Spread more joy this season with holiday decor that is uniquely you, like our new 3.5-foot Santa and Elf inflatable, each just $19.98. Available in-store and online. Get holiday ready right now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
Experience Omaha's first Indian restaurant and brewery. Jaipur has created delicious Indian food and brews, from the tandoori salmon to the chicken tikka makhani. Jaipur has something for every palate. 2 locations, Rockbrook and Dundee. Come see why Jaipur has been voted first place Best of Omaha 18 years in a row.
Giving Tuesday is our biggest local giving day of the year. On November 28th, let's celebrate what the Metro can do together. Donate to your choice of local nonprofits on Giving Tuesday and year-round at shareomaha.org. During this season of giving, donate to causes you care about in just a few clicks. Mark your calendar for November 28th. Giving Tuesday 402 is powered by Share Omaha. Give local on November 28th at shareomaha.org.
Remember the simple days of the home phone? You never misplaced that phone or lost a call because of spotty internet or bad reception. It was right there and always reliable, even in emergencies. Well, the home phone is back and better than ever with Community Phone. Community Phone offers landline home phone service starting at just $39 a month. And now get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-936-4134. There are no contracts. You don't need internet. You can make unlimited nationwide calls, and your phone works, even if you lose power. Plus, you can keep your current phone number or get a new one. With Community Phone, you'll enjoy all the modern conveniences of caller ID, voicemail, spam call blocking, and more. Today, get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-936-4134. Call 1-866-936-4134 today to get 50% off. 1-866-936-4134.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
one more on the coaching cycle here. So today we had a change in the fourth longest tenured head coach in FBS football. Middle Tennessee's coach, Rick Stockstill.
I didn't know that was a person that existed.
That's okay. Nobody did until just now because he got fired. After being completely average for nearly 20 years. Rick Stockstill has been fired by Middle Tennessee State today.
The Jeff Fisher of whatever the hell conference Middle Tennessee State's in?
He literally went 113 and 111 over, 18 seasons? So that moves up.
Conference USA, of course.
The 07 hires of Air Force Troy Calhoun and Alabama's Nick Saban. Ever heard of him? As being now the fourth longest tenured coaches in college football, only behind Kirk Ferentz, Mike Gundy, and Kyle Whittingham.
Wow.
Kyle Whittingham going on his third conference now. Good job for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Gundy, can't kill Gundy, and you can't kill Kirk Ferentz. Kirk Ferentz decides what he wants to go.
That's right.
All right, Josh, odd news. Let's do it.
We begin with Connor, you're a red zone guy.
I am, and I saw.
You were watching when it happened?
I was in the room when it happened.
NFL Red Zone routinely.
You like that reference?
That's a Hamilton
Thank
reference.
you.
Look at you.
Thank you.
Dropping pulp culture, musical, and movie knowledge all at once.
That's why you come here.
That's right. Red Zone promises 7 hours of commercial-free football every Sunday. Along with those 7 hours came an unexpected surprise yesterday during the broadcast. Alarms at NFL Red Zone Studios in Inglewood went off, prompting an evacuation where Scott Hansen took to the airwaves, as he always is on, and said, "Hey, you probably hear those alarms behind me. They're telling us we have to evacuate." And they just left it on the Bills-Eagles game while they figured it out. It wasn't a long delay.
And then he came back.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've been given the clearance to come back because I'm fine. But we did have an alarm. So here's the thing about Scott Hansen, and I do watch Red Zone every Sunday. I don't record it like Random Mike does. Or who was that? Random Mike? Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. Random Mike said he records Red Zone.
I don't record it, but I do watch it live. So the thing about Scott Hansen is he says everything with such urgency and intensity that you can't and it's great. It makes you think that everything means everything at all times. And so you can clearly hear that something's going on in the background. And he says with the exact same amount of urgency that somebody just scored a 27-yard touchdown or made a game-tying field goal with 3 minutes left, that there's an alarm going off and they have to exit the building. And he said it very, very like Scott Hansen. If everything is everything, then, you just this is a lesson for Nebraska football, honestly. Life throws you a curveball, but you just treat everything like you do everything else with the same amount of vigor and intensity. Jim Harbaugh talks about this all the time. Attack every day with the force that is unknown to man or whatever he says all the time. Then it's like nothing happened. And Scott Hansen handled it like a pro yesterday, as I would expect.
This is what a pro sounds like when he is being told to evacuate from his job.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a first in my 20-something year broadcasting career. We have an alarm going off in the studios of NFL Red Zone right now, in our studios here in Inglewood, California. We are being told we need to evacuate the building. We do not know the nature of the emergency. You can probably hear the alarm going right over the top of my right shoulder here, as it is something absolutely unprecedented for us. We have this game.
Awesome. And he said it just like anybody, just like a football play. I love it. Scott Hansen is so, I envy Scott. He's so into his job.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to do his job we get to see him do his job for 7 hours every Sunday, and that's it. And he is all about that. I love it. I love it.
And
that's why I watch. To be honest with you, I watch for him. I watch for the football, and I obviously, but like my experience is enhanced by Scott Hansen for sure.
Now, I know he's trained his body at this point of doing Red Zone for so long, but do you think he took a bathroom break before coming back on the air?
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty close to the end anyway.
Yeah, he probably had an extra couple minutes. Like, yeah, nobody's going to notice if I go pee here. But he's only gone to the bathroom one time in his 20 years of doing Red Zone.
Yeah.
Guy gets it.
Yeah.
He's there for us.
He really does.
And we love Scott for that.
Staying in the NFL, the Connor Happer Show Bowl took place yesterday. Sorry, Connor. The Titans defeated the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I was broken up about it.
The Frank Reich era ended in Carolina this morning, if you hadn't heard. Fourth shortest tenure for an NFL coach ever. Shorter tenure than Urban Meyer even. But after
shorter than Matt Rule.
Yeah. After the game, Tennessee Titans quarterback Will Levis.
Did he do a mayonnaise thing again?
No, it wasn't that gross or weird, but he was quoted as saying, "That was awesome. That was what, a 17-play drive, something like that." The Titans went on a 15-play, 91-yard drive late in the game. Early in the game, second offensive possession, and really set the tone for the day. So Will Levis said, "I think we ran more plays that drive than we did in the second half." Those are the type of drives that, bring up the entire stadium. When you're able to just capitulate down the field like that and just finish it, that's the best feeling of all, to just finish a drive like that. He took to Twitter hours later and apologized. He said, quote, "I think I used the word capitulate instead of the word matriculate in the press conference today. Been killing me. I apologize to all my former English teachers."
Nice. So what's capitulate mean?
Capitulate is like an apology of sorts.
Cease to resist an opponent or an unwelcome demand. Surrender.
Okay.
So no, they
was
were
a little off there.
They were not capitulating.
No.
They were matriculating.
Yeah.
I've thought about that before. Like if I had to do press conferences every week, I'd go back and I'd probably watch myself because I'm like a sicko.
Same.
And I go back and watch myself and I thought, well, what was it? Here's what I should have said then. I go back. Well, I mean, I basically do 4-hour press conferences every day. So I sometimes go back and I listen to myself. I'm like, why didn't I take it that way? Why didn't I go this direction? What was I thinking? I should have come up with a better joke for that. That'd be me all the time if I was a quarterback in the NFL, for sure. So good job by Will Levis. That's self-scout.
Yeah.
It's the only way you can learn.
That's what you want from a quarterback, right?
And by the way,
real leader.
To go back to the Scott Hansen thing, we deal with alarms every single day for hours during the show, and you don't see us complaining.
Nope. We're used to it. We're built for it.
It's happening right now.
By the way, new AP poll out in basketball. Creighton at 15. Nebraska not ranked.
But Nebraska did just put out a graphic on Twitter that has a big lock on it, and it said 12-3, 23. I know we're getting over the hump on football season here, but tomorrow, Wednesday, we turn the page. Connor Happer's favorite week of the year is upon us.
I will say this: Nebraska received 4 points according to Sam.
Okay, and that gets them to what?
That's votes, right? They are receiving votes. Nebraska now.
Yes, somebody voted them in the top 25.
RV, Nebraska basketball.
Hello. Make the announcement. Let's see. Is it updated on the website yet? Yeah, Purdue, Arizona. So Nebraska got 4. Okay, just bear with me here. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44.
That's like watching the Price is Right yodeler. Like, stop. You got to stop, man.
Nebraska 44 in the new AP poll. Congratulations. Hang the banner.
Okay.
So 44 versus 15 on Sunday.
This actually works as a great segue because our final story in the odd news today comes out of Lincoln.
Crime Town,
yes. Do you remember when Lincoln said, "Hey, citizens, help us name some snowplows. It'll be fun."
Yes.
Well, the 25 finalists for that contest have been announced. You can vote on the names through December 6th. The winning names will be announced on December 7th.
All right, what did we get?
1,739 names were submitted. The top 25 are as follows. Anti-Snowshell. Austin Plowers.
Kind of funny.
Beat, parentheses LE, Juice.
Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Big Frosty. Blizzard of Oz. Cleopatra. That's actually kind of clever.
Yeah.
Darth Blader.
Yep.
Optimus Brine.
Yep.
Mr. Salty. Plow Force 1. Plowosaurus Rex. The obligatory Plowy McPlowface. Plowzilla. Polar Express. Salty McBrine. Stop me if any of these are good, Connor. Scoop Dog. Senor Push. Senor Push isn't bad. Sir Plows a Lot. Snow Big Deal. Snow Problem. Snow Big Red. Snowmater.
Definitely none of those.
Thaw Patrol. Truck Norris. And Winter Soldier.
Okay, so I think we could kill like the back 8.
Yeah.
Those were all bad.
Mhm.
There was a couple here or there in the middle. Senior Plow is pretty funny. What was the second one?
Austin Plowers.
Kind of funny. All right, there's a winner in there.
I believe 8. Yes, 8 snowplows will be named. So the top 8 from this list of 25. There weren't 8 good ones. I'll tell you that.
No, but there was probably 4.
Sure.
Okay. And I hope, and obviously those 4 will be kicked out of the next round of voting because we don't know what's good.
It's Crime Town. Cleopatra is pretty good.
Cleopatra is creative enough. That should stay in for sure. Thank you, Josh. Good update.
Yeah.
So none of the people's puns about current Husker athletes made the cut.
I imagine of the 1,739 submissions, about 1,200 of them were Scott Frost puns in some way.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for the city of Lincoln to go just throw those right out.
They should name the truck Scott Frost because he sucks. Something like that. Good one.
It's a truck, sir. It doesn't suck.
Retweet. All right. That is the odd news. We will come back. More up next. The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
You can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift this Christmas morning. Join 1620 The Zone as we stuff the truck to benefit Toys for Tots. This Friday from 3 till 7 and Saturday from 11 till 4 at the Zone Studio parking lot off 50th and Dodge. Help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. All the info at 1620thezone.com with Molina Healthcare, 2 Men in a Truck, J-Tech Construction and Solar, Hy-Vee, and 1620 The Zone.
Creighton Sports Update. Hey, Blue Jay fans, it's volleyball and soccer season here at Creighton. So get your tickets and come out and support your Blue Jays. For tickets, go to Ticketmaster.com, gocreighton.com/tickets, or visit the office located at the Ryan Athletic Center. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Need a feast to feed the family? Godfather's Pizza has you covered. Build your own feast. Choose a medium specialty pizza, a medium one-topping pizza, and a side, like my new bacon ranch cheese sticks. Freshly baked, loaded with mozzarella cheese, tangy ranch, and topped with an abundance of bacon. Do yourself a favor and build your feast today. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
You could go to point A to B, or you could go to point X. Experience the stunning new 2024 BMW X Series lineup for yourself at Onyx Automotive. The BMW X range. Your next X venture starts here. Lease the new 2024 BMW X1 X-Drive 28i for just $549 a month at BMW of Omaha. Online at bmwofomaha.com. See dealer for details.
eBay Motors is here for the ride.
120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
When you wake up well-rested on a great mattress, everything becomes clear.
My life coach has a terrible life.
Things you missed when you were tired finally reveal themselves.
My passport is in the pocket of the duffel bag I took to Mexico.
It's the Black Friday sale at Mattress Firm. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700 on Sealy. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select mattresses. And if you see a better price, we'll match it. The right mattress matters. We'll find yours. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
'Tis the season to volunteer. Here at the Salvation Army of Omaha, the bells will start ringing at our iconic red kettles come mid-November. That means we need you to volunteer. Ringing the bells at our kettles is a family fun activity that makes a big difference. All kettle donations stay local, and they fund everything from Salvation Army food and housing programs to behavioral health services and more. So sign up today at registertoring.com. And while you're at it, sign up your family, friends, church group, or coworkers too. Go to registertoring.com today.
The Woodcliff Restaurant in Fremont is just a quick sleigh ride from Omaha at Woodcliff Lake. Get a head start on all your stocking stuffers with gift cards from the Woodcliff Restaurant. Winters at the Woodcliff Restaurant are warm and inviting, like a Santa's workshop, but more fun. Stop fighting traffic, parking, and one-way streets. Slow down and enjoy a fantastic dinner at the lake with family and friends this holiday season. The Woodcliff Restaurant is Santa approved. Check them out at thewoodcliffrestaurant.com or on Facebook for specials and events.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Should have named the plow Scott Frost. Because all it does is take my tax money and do nothing with it.
Just like a Lincoln snowplow.
Just like the snowplow. Exactly. See, I'm full of these burns. Chris, by the way, on the YouTube.
Hi, Chris.
Says AP, the AP polls a bunch of cowards for not putting Nebraska at number 25. I tend to agree, actually. Yeah. I completely agree. Rank Nebraska. Rank Nebraska for this week. I mean, now
you will bump those TV numbers, don't you?
I'll tell you what. I mean, Nebraska will be ranked next week if they win their one game this week.
Sure,
I would think. Right, unless Creighton just sucks. We don't. I mean,
have we thought of that as a possibility?
People are definitely making that case, and by people I mean Nebraska basketball fans, which is an odd case considering you want them to be good when you play them this week. But what a week. I can't wait to dive headfirst into that very shallow pool this week and break my neck just like I do every single year talking about Nebraska versus Creighton, who I think I could be a great resource on Nebraska versus Creighton because I watch them both religiously. But no, people are like, you can't see anything because you care about both of them.
You've got your Jasker colored glasses on.
Yep. And people are going to come up to me this week and they're going to say, hey, Happer, going to go to the game on Sunday? I'm going to say yes. And they're going to say, what color are you going to be wearing? And I'm going to say, I'm probably going to wear like a black shirt, maybe, because most of my shirts are black. I think that's what I'll do. I'll be sitting up there with
the fence.
Be sitting up there with the media, tapping away. I'll be at Pinnacle Bank Arena twice this week. I'll be at Pinnacle Bank Arena 3 times this week.
Wow. What time do the girls play?
Wednesday night and Saturday afternoon.
You'll want to check on that before.
One day at a time. Yeah, one day at a time. Kind of
grinding.
It's the off season, so we welcome in Random Mike. Hello, Mike.
Yeah, can I defend myself?
You can. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. I just think you may admit that it's an odd thing that you record Red Zone and watch it back later.
Well, okay, I do not watch it in its entirety, never.
Okay.
And sometimes I might record like the first, block, the first 3 or 4 hours of the last. I mean, they show a lot of games, and I totally agree with you on Scott Hansen. And I find it hard to believe he's been doing it for 20 years because he doesn't look that old.
No, he doesn't. He looks great.
I love his enthusiasm, and like nobody's perfect. And did that actually happen with that alarm thing last week or yesterday? Or whatever?
Yesterday, yeah, that was a real life thing. It happened. It was real late. I mean, it was toward the end of that Eagles and Bills game, so it's probably about 5:30, somewhere around there. But yeah, alarm started going off, and they had to leave it on the game and then just come back.
Wow. And yeah, it's kind of amazing that he can hold himself and not. Well, we don't know. Maybe he's got some contraption where he is taking a leak while he's doing his thing.
He's talked about it before in the past. He just doesn't go.
Yeah. Okay. But no, what I do, I mean, I might be interested in like 2 or 3 games that are on the red zone and where they have 10. And you get, like anything else, the more you do something, you get better. I get better at scanning and fast forward, looking for the colors. And, Josh said, well, you can watch it later, or the NFL might show. I don't want to know how things turn out. And so it works for me. And with it, I mean, you have Cox, I think, and with that contour thing, it's easier to record bigger blocks. You know what I'm saying? So in a 4 hours thing, it might take me 30 minutes to see what I want to see. And I tend to kind of lean towards the second half, So I'm never sitting through 4 or 8 hours just to catch the highlights.
So you go straight to the witching hour, basically. You go straight to 2:00.
Well, not necessarily straight to it, but yeah, I kind of lean toward that. So the bottom line is it might take me 20 minutes to get through 3 hours, something like that. And I'm never home on a Sunday.
Hey, Mike, I'm not shaming you. I just think it's funny. I just think it's a funny quirk.
Yeah, but I imagine there are a lot of people that do it, particularly with the technology now where you can record bigger blocks. But here's my worst case scenario for Nebraska. And to me, it's unbelievable. And we're just like Iowa, except they're a little better at what they do. But every game, the consistency of the ineptitude of the offense. I mean, 10 points. I mean, when you're older, you know how it used to be. I was just looking at the Florida game and the Fiesta Bowl. We had over 500 yards rushing in that game. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I mean, we just scored. I mean, we had seasons where we averaged like 40 points. And this team, kind of like Iowa, almost never scores more than 10 points. So how do you lose close games? One, your offense sucks.
Yeah.
So you're lucky if it's a close game. And then your defense at the end kind of fails you. But then look what they've had to do the whole game, because they're stressed so much. So but here's the thing about Chuba. The interceptions could not have been worse. But like in that first one, he hadn't been training, with the first team, and all these receivers are so close. And the second one was in the second game. It was the last play where he basically had a pretty good game. And in this last one, I think a factor was that official being kind of in the way. Am I right?
I'm not sure. And they showed the behind the camera angle of it. Like,
wasn't the official like right next to the receiver? And maybe he sees the official. And look, you can't do that. I understand that.
Right.
But I mean, and they couldn't have been worse. But Chuba, he's definitely better than he was.
Oh, right? Yes. I think the big thing against Chuba is that things tend to move really quickly for him. And I think they do still, but not nearly as bad as it was a year ago. Right. So, I mean, yeah, he's certainly made strides.
And isn't his brother known for not doing stuff like that? And just being really calm and just being real smart.
He's always himself.
Kind of like the setter on our basketball team, this freshman girl. They say she's just so calm, older than her years. And doesn't Chuba's brother seem that way?
Chuba's brother Brock has a little bit of that to him. Yes.
And I am hoping he's coaching him, but I understand he's kind of a busy guy. So
he is.
I mean, I would feel a lot better if he was our quarterback coach next year. Here's my worst case scenario: that the defensive staff loses the coordinator, and I think Tony White was kind of shocked how Rule put it. Like he was almost encouraging him to go. Didn't it sound that way?
I don't know about encouraging him, but maybe he could have. He said it out loud. He's like, I've heard from people like you should hire Tony White because I believe in Tony White. So I don't know if that's encouragement as much as like he just believes.
Tony made it seem like he didn't know quite how to take it.
Yeah, he said I never had a coach do that before. Yeah.
Yeah, and I understand that he's supporting him and all that. And he did say make sure it's the right job. But my worst case scenario is that he goes and that the offensive staff has no changes at all. Would you agree with
I don't know if it's worst case scenario, but that's not a good scenario. Yeah.
And don't you think we definitely need a quarterback coach?
Yeah, I wonder if they'll mix anything up there. I'm not sure, or I don't have any anticipation at this point that they will. But it would be nice to get some more hands-on stuff with the quarterbacks. I think, but I don't know the inner workings of how they do it right now. Like I spent the last 5 years with Frost wondering why the hell they had a quarterbacks coach and an offensive coordinator, and they didn't have a special teams coordinator. So it's all about how, what your strengths are as a head coach, and then how you want to sort of divvy out those responsibilities to your staff.
But one thing all the quarterbacks had in common, they were doing things that just were shocking. You're looking and you say, who's their coach? Whether it was a sidearm throwing or, not seeing guys that are right in front of you, or the way Chuba's handling the ball, and just so loosely. Just think like, how can that be at this level? Who's their coach?
That's a good topic. Thanks for the call, Mike. Appreciate it. Okay. So let's just do quarterbacks individually, and just quarterbacks individually. We could talk about the entire season and what they got out of it and what they didn't get out of it. But you saw the quarterbacks, and it's difficult because we've only seen these quarterbacks under, mostly under the one head coach. I guess we saw Sims at the previous school, and Harburg, this is the first time we've seen him play quarterback. And Purdy, we saw him last year, in which I think Purdy was about 7,000 times better in 2023 than he was in 2022. I don't know whose fault that was, but oftentimes we heard about how Whipple loved Chuba.
And Ben Roethlisberger.
And I mean, he brought him here, right? But they were so dead focused on doing everything to get Casey right and all that stuff. They just threw that game away at Michigan because Chuba was the guy. So did they get out of the quarterback room specifically what they could have this year? I would argue, hell yes. Sims wasn't good.
No.
Harburg was maybe worse, and he won the 4 games. Or 5 games. And Chuba did fine. Obviously, he threw 3 back-breaking interceptions. Shout out to the Batman in the Gulag. But I don't know. I would argue that they did the best with what they had this year at that position. I don't think they would tell you that, because I think they like defending their guys, but the thing that went untalked about the entire time the Heinrich Harburg was winning the games is that Heinrich Harburg wasn't very good, and he almost drowned him 400 times with all the turnovers. They don't want to run the quarterback 18 times a game. That's not what they want to do. And they had to do that in the first 10 games of the season. That's not who they want to be, I don't think. And then Chuba came in and he led an offense that didn't put up any points and didn't score at all, and then threw the 3 back-breaking interceptions. But then you have to start asking the questions. Okay, now that we have a quarterback who fits a little bit more than what we, where the skill set of what we want our quarterback to be, let's look around. What's going on outside of it? Oh, we have a running back position where we got to try and force feed Emmett Johnson 14 carries a game. Grant was totally nothing against Iowa. I mean, Grant was never going to work against Iowa. Too much dancing, right? Grant was fine against Wisconsin. Grant was never going to work against Iowa. He was bad. You had a couple big, flourishes from Fleeks. You had no wide receivers. Then you start looking around at your offense, and you're saying, oh, okay. Now we can build around this a little bit, hoping to become better. I would argue that they did. I would argue that they did get the most out of their quarterback position this year. And that's saying something, because the quarterbacks have never been worse since I've been alive. Do you agree with that, Josh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody does, or I don't know if I'm making sense, but that could have got a lot worse for what they had. Their plan was Sims. That plan got scrapped immediately. Give them credit for scrapping it, right? They could have brought him back.
That's our guy.
They scrapped it and went with Heinrich because Chuba was hurt. And Heinrich came in and won some games, even though he stunk. And then Chuba came in, and that was a little bit closer to, I think, what they want to be on offense. At least they didn't turn it over as much. Right?
I mean,
that stabilized. Chuba Purdy, when you look at the drive chart for the year, like, he stabilized the whole thing in the last 2 games. It could have turned out a lot worse. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Nebraska was historically bad in turnovers.
They maybe maximize isn't the right word, but like they got a lot of blood out of that turnip.
And that's what Rule was trying to tell us. That's what Rule was trying to tell us. He's like, yeah, maybe you look around and say we miss out a lot of opportunities that we could have and should have and would have gone to a bowl game. And absolutely, I would agree with that. But also, I mean, maybe it's impressive that they did what they did, even though they lost the last 4.
Which, again, I understand.
You tell me when the quarterback room is completely different next year.
Nobody wants to hear that today. I get it. I get it.
I know. We're still in mad mode.
We're spinning it.
I'm trying to tell you, in a couple of weeks we won't be in mad mode anymore.
No.
And it'll feel a little bit different. And then you'll start, hey, you know what? Maybe there was some stuff in there. All right. Quick timeout. Back with more. Now we're going to jump into the coaching search bonanza, which was fun over the weekend. It provided it's nice to look from the outside looking in. It's nice to not be a part of it. Nice not to spin a wheel. Don't worry. We'll get it back out at some point. But today is not that day. Talk about it next on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show.
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
On 1620 The Zone.
I hate you.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio. This is 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Hey everybody, it's Michael Zuber for Ted and Wally's. One of the things that Ted and Wally's does is it go along with the seasons, whether it's the summer or it's the spring or it's the fall, and of course, the winter and holidays, and the holiday flavors are amazing. Let me suggest a couple of them for you. Coffee beignet and ooey gooey cake. You are going to love both of them, and so will your family and friends. Swing by the 2 locations, whether it's Benson, next to Taste of New Orleans, or in the Old Market, and get the holiday flavors today. Grab a gift card while you're there as well, and always tell them Severe sent you.
Hey, Connor.
What's up?
So, you're getting an Auto Express Lane certificate in less than a year?
I need to put my career in the fast lane.
And Jenny, in just 5 months, you earned a veterinary assistant certificate?
It's kind of a pet project.
JC, is that
blood? Yeah, I'll be certified as a phlebotomy tech in just 5 months.
A positive, JC. Earn a career certificate in less than a year. Get started at mccneb.edu/adults. Classes start December 2nd.
This is me at MCC.
Take your home to the next level with Level countertops, cabinets, and flooring. If you have a kitchen, bath, or closet that is completely dysfunctional, now is the time to make them functional. Level countertops, cabinets, and flooring is your expert for taking your home to the next level. The staff will listen to your needs and dreams and create a unique space specifically for you and your family. Visit the showroom at 192nd and West Maple or online at levelomaha.com. That's levelomaha.com.
Pulling in the holidays with Sol's. All jewelry in stock up to 50% off. Ladies' diamond rings starting at $89. Earrings starting at $39. Gemstone rings starting at $89. Pulling in the holidays with up to 50% off jewelry at Sol's Jewelry and Loan.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of holiday joy at the Home Depot, where you can find everything you need to get ready for the holiday season, like all new festive outdoor decor. Spread more joy this season with holiday decor that is uniquely you, like our new 3.5-foot Santa and Elf inflatable, each just $19.98. Available in store and online. Get holiday ready right now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers stay hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers, you can get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. Think about it. Do the math. That's $150 if your team wins.
Yeah, and if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action right now. The app is super easy to use. Wide range of betting options, including not only spreads, but also player props, over-unders, and much more. And a great NFL slate this week to take advantage of, including Niners and Eagles. So visit FanDuel.com. Use the promo code ZONE. That's FanDuel.com/zone and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable. Bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
All right, welcome back. We're the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. People forget that Colorado's not going to a bowl game, interestingly enough.
Yeah. I don't know how you could forget that.
285 days until Nebraska, Colorado, yet again.
Hard to do.
Cannot wait. By the way, we have more information on the person who voted Nebraska ball in the top 25. They received the 4 points from one man.
Oh, no.
Who ranked them number 22 in the AP Top 25.
Oh, no.
Dylan Sin of the Fort Wayne Journal-Gazette ranked Nebraska at number 22. So go ahead and send the kudos his way. He was the lone soul to rank Nebraska in the AP Top 25.
I assume there's...
We do have a local voter.
Okay.
It is Kevin Suits of 1011. And maybe somebody in Omaha has one too. Baz had it last year, I think. And then Baz died. Or maybe it's 2 years ago now.
Yeah, Baz changed beats. I believe this would be his second season.
Time is a flat circle.
It is.
But I know I saw Baz at the high school football game. We hugged and then we slapped each other in the face. Because that's our relationship.
Okay. Hey, you do you.
Yeah, it's kind of odd, I know. So Texas A&M over the weekend, they pulled the Tennessee. Nice job by them.
That is what happened, isn't it?
Yeah. So Texas A&M tried to hire Mark Stoops. Mark Stoops, the coach of Kentucky. His name is Mark Stoops, right?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Not Mike Stoops. Mark Stoops, who by the way beat Louisville over the weekend. To take over Kentucky supremacy once and for all.
What a swan song that would have been for him, though.
Yeah, and he's like, "Cool, I'm out. I'm going to Texas A&M." And then the news leaked out there. This was late on Saturday night. News leaked out there on Saturday night, and Texas A&M fans said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! We did not agree to this. We did not agree to this. No, thank you." He's never won anything in the SEC. Goodbye. We're revolting. This is officially a riot. Thank you, but no thank you. We want somebody else. And then Texas A&M said, okay, this is a cult after all. So we'll move on to the next guy. How's Mike Elko sound? The head coach of Duke. Formerly a Texas A&M assistant, of course. Among an assistant at many places. I think Elko is actually a good coach. We've chronicled my tales of loving Duke all year. But I can't tell you that Mark Stoops would have been worse than that. I'm not sure why they revolted on Mark Stoops, to be completely honest with you.
Just conference.
I was trying to read.
Right?
Yeah, I guess so. I was trying to read the comments and figure out, okay, what's the context for this? And basically the complaint was he's never won anything of note in the SEC. Why would we want him when we're trying to win games in the SEC? And my argument back to that would be he was the coach at Kentucky. He made Kentucky football mildly relevant for a span of not just a day, like a couple years. They've put out pros. They have a mayonnaise-eating starting quarterback in the NFL, even though he didn't start there.
24-14 at Kentucky since the pandemic.
So I'm not sure why the revolt came, but it did. And they pivoted over to Mike Elko, who will be fine. They need stability, and he'll be there for a little while, and they'll win enough games to stay afloat, and then he'll get a big buyout when they go 8-4 for the next 6 years. It'll be sick for Mike Elko.
Mike Elko, a dazzling 16-9 at Duke, has never lost a bowl game.
I just like consistency. Like if you're gonna revolt from Mark Stoops, then why not revolt from Mike Elko? They're like the same guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Stoops obviously with the experience.
They both have turned a basketball school into a moderate football school.
Yeah. They both like to wear blue.
Yeah. They're both named Mike. Or no, one's named Mark. See, you got me.
No, I got you all messed up.
All messed up.
This is my bad.
Give me a Stoops family tree stat.
So the big news, the big one so there was that, and Texas A&M is living in its own universe. But they ought to just put a bubble over College Station, and like just a big dome. It's like, yep, nobody's in, nobody comes in, nobody goes out. This is where we are.
That's actually how I picture College Station in my own head.
I think that's about how it works, pretty much, except for on game days when other people come in. But Jonathan Smith leaves Oregon State.
Somebody was going to get themselves a good one.
It's a good coach.
Yeah.
Remains the best coach and was the last man standing in the 2017 coaching cycle. Everyone said, what? Jonathan Smith, what's going on here? And he gets the job at Oregon State, and they stabilize. They've been a pretty good team for the last couple of years now. Good, tough, physical football. It's got Big Ten coach written all over it. And he takes a job at Michigan State. So I want to say this, and it's both about Smith and the job. I realize that money and stability are there at Michigan State, right? It's you're not gonna can Jonathan Smith if they go 3-9 next year. You're not gonna can Jonathan Smith if they go 3-9 and then 5-7, right? Like they'll give it a little bit of time. It's not a Texas A&M situation. It's not a Ohio State situation, right? Like give it a little bit of time. So that's good, and that's a positive. Obviously, the money and the stability to moving over to the Big Ten is kind of self-explanatory. But I wondered about that a little bit. Is Michigan State a good job? And obviously, Oregon State's pool of coaches that they're going to go after next is relatively limited.
Mm-hmm.
Former connections to the program, Paul Christ and Trent Bray, who played there and has coached there now for a while as well. It's going to end up being one of those two guys. But Oregon State goes into a world where they're kind of in the Mountain West Plus, and they're getting the payout from the Pac-12, and they can have this kind of like, I think so. When I think about Tony White and San Diego State, I think San Diego State is a great job for the level it's at. It's obviously not Michigan,
right? For its level, it's a really good job.
So you're looking at the competition you have around you. The beasts of the West Coast have alienated you in a way, right? USC, UCLA, Washington, Oregon are off to the Midwest/East, I guess. By the way, what happens to the Big Ten commercial?
I'm excited.
Very, very, very disappointed that it'll be gone.
Grow. It's going to be faster and it's going to grow.
Okay, that's good. Keep the song though.
Yeah.
And so the West Coast school sort of alienated you a little bit, and with that, I think comes a little bit of a recruiting foothold, and you could become a strong program in the West Coast. Stanford basically doesn't exist anymore. Cal doesn't exist anymore. They're in the ACC. People forgot about that one already.
ACC powers.
Yeah. And like San Diego State is a good job. I look at that as a good job right now. Does Oregon State and Washington State become like a San Diego State type of program where it's not it's not big boy football, but it's the best there is to offer, and it's pretty good football. It's the best there is to offer in the Mountain Time Zone that stays in the Mountain Time, or the Pacific Time Zone that stays in the Pacific Time Zone, and doesn't really have to deal with USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, who are the beasts of the West prior to this. Doesn't sound like that bad of a situation.
And if you ever get really good, like 10-win good, you can thump your chest and go,
yeah, let us in.
Let us in. Nobody wants to play us or little Oregon State.
You see what I'm saying? It doesn't sound like that bad of a gig.
But there is so much unknown that, like, I get why he leaves for the comfort and safety of
maybe
the
it's
Big Ten.
Stability and stability only.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then you know what? I can't blame you.
Hey, I know they're going to have football at Michigan State in 10 years. I don't know if Oregon State will.
I do think you have to look around you and say, okay, Michigan State, best case scenario, thinks they can be what Nebraska's trying to be, which is, look, we could pull off a 10-win season and make the playoff, but you are constantly recruiting against Michigan and Ohio State in the same territory, and you're probably going a rung lower than that. Ohio State, Michigan get all the scraps, and then you have to deal with the regional powers. Penn State's in that territory. Wisconsin, Nebraska, Iowa, they're in that territory, and they just have, frankly, a little bit more to offer than you as a basketball school, and a school that is further and further away from what it is known as success over the last decade plus here. I don't know how great of a job that is. I know they could pay. They got money, and they got the Big Ten stability, and that helps. So that tells you what your pool is. But I wonder about that job, and I wonder about what Jonathan Smith just did, because he could have kept that rolling at Oregon State for a long time. Now, it's tough to ask a coach who is ready to go from Power 5 to probably, advance in Power 5 and go up and whatever. Like, he wants to keep going up in his coaching career, and he doesn't want to go back down, quote unquote, to the group of 5, which is kind of what would be happening. But I think there's a lot to be said for that. And then, if you stay there at Oregon State and you win, you're going to be the first guy on anybody's list forever, not just Michigan State. Yeah. So did you have to jump right now for that job, which is, I don't know, kind of in shambles? I don't know. Just something I thought about over the weekend.
Now, if you don't jump and you don't win, maybe you become, and I know we kind of got it turned around this year, so it might not be the best example. Maybe you turn into a Matt Campbell, where, well, gosh, I thought he was going to jump, and if he hasn't jumped yet, maybe he'll never jump.
You could be the Matt Campbell of the West. You could have been the Matt Campbell of the West.
Someone has to be.
Texter Jesse writes in, Scott Frost to Oregon State. Hasn't been mentioned. No. Haven't seen that. Weirdly. Paul Christ and Trent Bray. Hope Trent Bray gets the job. We always like Trent Bray here. He was the one coach that everybody agreed that was good during the Mike Riley era, actually. And then Riley got fired, and he was the interim coach here for like a day. Indiana fired Tom Allen. What the hell does Indiana do now?
Third largest buyout of all time.
Yeah, how was that guy there for 7 years and he had a $20 million buyout? He re-upped his contract like a year ago, and now they just decided to fire him? Yikes. But
good job, Tom Allen.
Like we said, doesn't matter. They got the money. It's the Big Ten. And then there's the whole Ryan Day cloud over the entire thing. So one thing that we've learned in coaching searches and carousels over the last couple of years is that we can always bank on one like, a big coach already sitting at a job is going to go somewhere else and take another job. And with the shifting landscape that we just talked about in college football, where might that come from? I would find it hard to believe that it would be the Ohio State coach leaving Ohio State. Now, what if Ohio State removes the Ohio State coach? That's a different thing. By the way, I don't think there's a chance. No chance in hell.
Doesn't seem like it. No.
I think people are just making that up.
I get you're mad about the weekend if you're a Buckeyes fan.
Yeah.
And I get
why.
That's the only thing that matters.
Why? Why would you do that? You would not do that. Don't do that. Bad. That would be a bad take by them. But we're due for one.
I mean, it's Michigan, right? I guess that wouldn't be surprising if Harbaugh did not return.
That would be high on the list for sure.
But it would be a premier opening.
It probably is. And then where do they go? And does it create another premier opening somewhere else? Or do they just hire Sherman Moore?
He seems to be doing quite nice.
People seem to like him.
He's a finalist for the Broyles Award,
He
which
tries
goes
a lot.
to assistant coaches. I maintain that Moore has coached too many games to win this award.
Yeah, actually, it's a good take. I like that. He should be eliminated. Put in Tony White instead.
No, don't put in Tony
Oh,
White.
yeah, that's right. Don't put in Tony
We want to keep Tony White forever. Give that Georgia OC the Broyles Award.
So that's the latest on Coaching Carousel 2023. Can't wait to follow it. Watch as an innocent bystander. It'll be a lot of fun this year. We will come back. A couple more things on Nebraska next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The job of a good sideline reporter, in my opinion, is to relay information about injuries or maybe some sideline stuff that is happening with the team. Okay, let's go down to Melissa Stark. Melissa, what are you seeing down there? She'll tell a story about, these guys were getting into it. It's like, okay, that's interesting. It's just a little extra background, a little extra color.
It's having some eyes down on the field. Yeah. Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Skies clear this afternoon and tonight, staying chilly with the high today of 38 degrees, still feeling like the lower 30s though. Gusts possible out of the west-northwest up to 20 miles an hour. Clear skies tonight will help drive temperatures down. Cold with a low of 18 in Omaha. Luckily, winds staying light out of the northwest up to 10 miles an hour. Few clouds possible tomorrow, but mostly sunny by the afternoon, breezy and cool. A high Tuesday of 43. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Sports fans, Let It Fly Sports Bar is your elevated sports bar experience. Indulge in our culinary touchdowns with a menu crafted to satisfy. Savory burgers, tender steaks, to our fire wings. Our world-renowned chef will leave your taste buds cheering for more. We've raised the sports bar dining experience with a new high-end design and incredible food. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just love the excitement, Let It Fly is your place. Host your next college game day watch party or private event right here. Elevate your game day experience at Let It Fly, located in downtown Omaha.
Are you that relative who's always asked to bring plates and napkins to the family dinner? Bring brews instead. Specially quality, locally brewed Nebraska beers and ciders. The Nebraska Craft Brewers Guild wants you to know that local brewers are working on special seasonal beverages to make your holiday family get-togethers a day full of fun, football, and feasting. Lots and lots of feasting. Plus, you'll never be asked to bring plates and napkins again, especially if your goofy cousin from Iowa brings that state's favorite beer. Cheers.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks. Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Looking for a pure electric vehicle that does 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds? The eyes have it. The BMW i-Line. 100% electric, 100% sports car, 110% BMW. The BMW i-Line. The electric vehicle that takes you farther than you could ever imagine. Right now, lease a new BMW i4 eDrive 35 for $499 a month at BMW of Omaha. Online at bmwofomaha.com. See dealer for details.
Hey, it's Ashley from Saul's. This holiday, Saul's is the place to stretch your budget and give amazing designer gifts for up to half off retail. We're also buying your luxury brand items to help you freshen up your style this holiday season. Designer gifts for less at Saul's.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com. Giving Tuesday is our biggest local giving day of the year. On November 28th, let's celebrate what the Metro can do together. Donate to your choice of local nonprofits on Giving Tuesday and year-round at shareomaha.org. During this season of giving, donate to causes you care about in just a few clicks. Mark your calendar for November 28th. Giving Tuesday 402 is powered by Share Omaha. Give local on November 28th at shareomaha.org.
Remember the simple days of the home phone? You never misplaced that phone or lost a call because of spotty internet or bad reception. It was right there and always reliable, even in emergencies. Well, the home phone is back and better than ever with Community Phone. Community Phone offers landline home phone service starting at just $39 a month. And now get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-936-4134. There are no contracts. You don't need internet. You can make unlimited nationwide calls, and your phone works, even if you lose power. Plus, you can keep your current phone number or get a new one. With Community Phone, you'll enjoy all the modern conveniences of caller ID, voicemail, spam call blocking, and more. Today, get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-936-4134. Call 1-866-936-4134 today to get 50% off. 1-866-936-4134.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
And Rivalry Week gave us some bangers this weekend.
Finally, only took all year to get a great slate.
It wasn't a great slate, but we got a good weekend out of it.
Good weekend.
It was really funny to watch Nebraska, Iowa, and then all the people tweeting about how a different sport was going on with Oklahoma and TCU. Oklahoma scored 69 points.
Nice.
In that game. We had Georgia Tech ended up randomly being good.
Very random.
Michigan, Ohio State was great. We'll talk about that in a second. The Apple Cup was good.
Oh, yeah.
Washington has just been kind of limping to the finish line here.
Boy, bet that won't come back to bite him against Oregon.
Alabama won on a 4th and goal from the 30. Just a huck it, chuck it. I saw people complaining about the Alabama offensive lineman just holding the Auburn guy. There was one guy rushing the passer on that play. It just allowed Milroe to stand back there all day long. All day long. Kentucky beat Louisville. That was a game that I'm sure people watched. Farmageddon was hilarious because it was a snow bowl.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of the oddities that are coming out of that? If you watched it, you would understand.
I watched it with the sound off.
Yeah, right. I think we all did, right?
Yeah, we were at the same place.
Iowa State ran 2 plays in K-State territory the entire game. They scored 42 points.
How's that possible, Connor?
Well, they ran they had 5 rushing plays that went for 50 or more yards. That's how it's possible. Iowa State ran 35 plays to Kansas State's 102. The Wildcats compiled 32 first downs to Iowa State's 10. K-State held the ball for 42-12 compared to Iowa State's 17-48. Iowa State averaged just shy of 14 yards per play. And by the way, it was a horrible snowstorm in Manhattan, Kansas. Oklahoma State BYU ended up being good. And yeah, I mean, we had just had some good stuff over the weekend, but we do owe a little bit to Ohio State, Michigan to talk about it.
Whoa. Hold on.
Maserati Marv?
Hold on.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Is there breaking news?
Hold on.
Uh-oh. No. Don't tell me. What's it about?
This just in out of college football.
Delaware joining the Conference USA?
Well, yes, that's
Okay.
massive news, seismic, if you will. But the Pop-Tarts Bowl has just announced they will have the first ever edible mascot. When the final whistle blows, the winning team will celebrate by taking a bite of the giant pastry mascot.
Thank God. We finally did it. We finally reached the pinnacle.
So this is going to be on at like the middle of the day, right? Like 2 p.m. ESPN. Huddle around the TV.
This is a good game. No.
Oh,
the
is
Pop-Tart Bowl is good.
Okay.
The Pop-Tart Bowl is the one that's formerly known as the
Citrus Bowl or whatever, right?
Yeah, this is a good game.
The Outback Bowl.
This is the Citrus Camping World. Okay, hold on. Here's what the Pop-Tart Bowl has been previously known as.
It's been a lot of things.
The Sunshine Football Classic.
Who could forget?
And then it kind of moved to Miami, and it went by the Blockbuster Bowl, the CarQuest Bowl, and the Micron PC Bowl. Then in 2001, it went back to Orlando, and it became the Tangerine Bowl.
Oh, we remember that fondly.
The Champ Sports Bowl.
Okay.
The Russell Athletic Bowl, the Camping World Bowl, and then the Cheez-It Bowl.
Okay, so this is not the Outback Bowl.
No. This is... I know it, I think, as the Champ Sports Bowl.
Yeah.
That's my time of college football. Poll question is how you refer... You can suss this out. Is how you refer to this bowl game, how you know how old you are. That was a horrible sentence, but like
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, something in there.
I'll figure it out while you talk about.
Or you can just
Ohio
do like,
State
how do you refer to the Champ Sports, or how do you refer to the Pop-Tart Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever.
Huddle around the television as a family and watch football players eat a mascot alive.
This game last year featured Florida State and Oklahoma.
Oh, that's a very fine bowl.
That was a ranked team against an unranked team.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is great. I'm glad this is going on. Very happy. Very happy for us. Very happy for college football that we get to this point. By the way, I've got this tweeted at me a couple times. The Big Ten is doing they're doing like a Big Ten championship game media day today.
Oh, sure.
So the Iowa players are talking, and they're regaling us from their experience over the weekend in Lincoln.
I'm sure it went well.
Iowa football player Mason Richmond says the following: that one of the security guards that was supposed to be guarding the Iowa bench was, instead of protecting the Iowa bench and the Iowa offensive line bench specifically, he was talking smack to the entire offensive line. Richmond says he's never experienced anything like that before. Quote, I was like, what is going on? I love it. This is great. This is what Rivalry Week is all about. You guys live in your own fantasy world. Talk about how this is not a rivalry game and how you don't feel feelings when Iowa runs across the field, grabs the trophy, and then splits it into two. Completely breaks the damn thing. Or when Wisconsin tries to go chop down the goalpost with their fake axe and PJ Fleck and his wife are standing in the way singing a song. This is what it's all about. I need more stories like this. I'm sure there are plenty. I'm sure Nebraska gets treated horribly when they go to Iowa, and we know that Iowa gets treated not so well when they come here. Now, the coaching staff will say afterwards, oh, they treat us so well, and blah, 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 blah. No. They want to kill each other. I think that we should stop with the charade of the respect between the two coaching staffs and just go.
Yes.
Do what you want to do. Talk about how much you hate each other. But Rule and Ferentz like each other too much. They respect each other too much.
It's sad, really.
You can respect Kirk Ferentz while saying, I want to beat the living hell out of Iowa. And Kirk Ferentz can, I'm surprised Kirk Ferentz didn't go all in. He instead had to go back to a couple weeks ago and went back to the fair catch in the post game. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, I still have stuff to say about this, about the fair catch. I'm really happy that this is a true rivalry. Now we just need to go back and forth for a couple of years. And then it really kicks off. By the way, yes, Iowa did make the Big Ten championship game.
People forget.
Yeah.
They don't score a lot of points though, Connor. How is that possible?
I said this in Big Red Overreaction. As much as everything I just said was true, and how much Nebraska wants to beat Iowa, and how much disdain you feel for the program, and just even the colors and all that stuff, I'm so happy for them. I really am, because they defied all of the odds. They just did a huge middle finger to all of college football throughout this year. I love it when teams can say that and when they could do that. You know what's going to happen? We're going to get even worse in offense, and we're going to win 10 games, and we're going to go to the Big Ten championship game again, because we're going to pull 6 games straight out of our butts, and we're going to win this thing. And you can't do it. You can only dream of doing that, what we just did. Doesn't it make it more impressive?
Oh, absolutely.
Seriously, I think for them, this is how they think about it. It is a feather in their cap. Kirk Ferentz will take this season to his grave. It'll be like, this was the one. They tried to they fired my son. They tried to put him in a bad contract, all this stuff. We went through all this crap. Our quarterback was an offensive lineman. We had no running game, even though they ran it for, $1.75 in Nebraska on Saturday or Friday. We had no run game. Our defense was just incredible. And we won games in spite of all of it. And that's why Kirk went back to the fair catch thing after the game. Hey, by the way, we should have gone 11-1.
But
they should have gone 11-1.
Mike Schaefer wrote on the board, Iowa will not go 11-1, so something had to stand in the way of that.
And it was the fair catch. Mm-hmm. Ethan writes in on Twitter.
Hi, Ethan.
Hard to be happy for a team that I went to see get beat 137-3 by Michigan this week. So people often say, we had the discussion a couple weeks ago, hey, what do you do when Iowa comes and visits Creighton for basketball? What do you do, Husker fan? And what do they say, Josh?
Well, I hope a plane crash swallows up the stadium.
It's too real. I hope a meteor.
Oh, okay.
Because that's not actually going to happen. I hope a meteor just kills everybody in the arena.
I hope Godzilla comes out of the ocean and
there you go.
Breathes his fire breath on the stadium.
Exactly.
And warns everyone about nuclear proliferation.
I think that's me this week. But if I am to root, which I don't need to have a rooting interest to watch a football game. I'm not like some of you weirdos. I could just watch it and I could just, root for a good game. But if you're requiring me to root, I would absolutely root for Iowa this week.
Oh, it's the chaos scenario.
Go Iowa.
Yeah.
It's not even about the chaos. Screw Michigan.
I mean, Michigan's probably in the playoff even if they lose to Iowa, so I guess it's not the chaos that I think it is.
But maybe. Screw Michigan.
Yeah, I'll root for them.
Root against the evil of the world. That's Michigan.
Whoever's playing Michigan is who I'm rooting against.
Okay.
Or for.
Go Hawks. Yeah. Go Hawks.
You heard it here first.
Your Hawkeye home. You're on 1620 The Zone.
Where get ready to all from.
All right. Back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
You can help a child in need experience the joy of opening a gift this Christmas morning. Join 1620 The Zone as we stuff the truck to benefit Toys for Tots. This Friday from 3 till 7 and Saturday from 11 till 4 at the Zone Studio parking lot off 50th and Dodge. Help those in need this holiday season by donating a new unwrapped toy. All the info at 1620thezone.com with Molina Healthcare, 2 Men in a Truck, J-Tech Construction and Solar, and 1620 The Zone.
Make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the roofery.
When it's time to replace or repair storm damage, make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the local, trusted, and proven choice. No one has installed more DaVinci roofs, and there's a reason why John Higgins Weather Guard is the nation's leader. Community member, community supporter. Make the right call.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the rooferys. Make the right call.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Cyber Monday is here, and 1620 The Zone has your 60% off Cyber Monday deals. Go to cybermondayomaha.com between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. today for 60% off deals from Early Bird, Rodizio Grill, Lula Bees, Omaha Children's Museum, Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill, Muchachos, and the Woodcliff Restaurant. That's right, today only. Some of your favorites are 60% off. Go to cybermondayomaha.com between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. today for these 60% off The Zone Cyber Monday deals.
Santa says Early Bird gift cards are perfect for holiday gift giving. Get to Early Bird Brunch in the Blackstone District, Shadow Lake Town Center, or Regency Landing to buy your gift cards. Get $10 free with a $50 gift card purchase. Early Bird, not your everyday brunch every day. Early Bird offers a variety of pancakes, Benedicts, omelets, and a full breakfast cocktail menu. For more menu info, check out earlybirdbrunch.com. Early Bird Brunch, where the early bird gets the pancake and the holiday gift card.
I'm Chris Rose with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Jalen Hurts tossed for 3 touchdowns and ran for 2 more, including the walk-off game-winning score in overtime. Eagles beat the Bills by 3 and moved to 10-1 on the year. The Chiefs are now 8-3 as Patrick Mahomes threw for 2 touchdowns, and Isaiah Pacheco ran for 2 of his own. Kansas City beats the Raiders 31-17. Trevor Lawrence threw for a score, added another one on the ground. Jags held off the Texans 24-21. Jacksonville now 8-3. The Ravens handled the Chargers 20-10. Lamar Jackson threw a touchdown pass. Baltimore now 9-3 in first place in the AFC. Bijan Robinson had 2 touchdowns, 1 on the ground and 1 through the air. Falcons beat the Saints 24-15 to move into first place in the NFC South. Both teams are 5-6. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Giving Tuesday is our biggest local giving day of the year. On November 28th, let's celebrate what the Metro can do together. Donate to your choice of local nonprofits on Giving Tuesday and year-round at shareomaha.org.
right, I'm gonna get to the one thing that, well, not the one thing, one of the things that riled people up on social media this weekend.
Oh,
And
people
just-
getting riled up on social media now.
Yeah, I know it's weird.
Okay.
One critique for Josh here.
Me?
I know we have to say thank you, Josh, at all times. Many people listen to Big Red Overreaction and they thought, well, what was their takeaway? That
great question.
I had bad takes and you had good takes.
Oh yeah, you were talking. You talked for the first
Oh yeah, I didn't take calls.
6 minutes of the show.
How dare I?
And
I apologize.
yeah,
I forgot that show was about you guys.
the most important voice of all.
Yeah. But we do have a Josh critique.
Okay.
Producer Josh, once again, breaking news trigger finger. Kind of annoying. That's what a text from the 202 said.
Hi 202. I mean, are you on social media right now? It's the only thing the college football Twitter accounts are talking about right now.
They're just saying, and I'm not saying that I agree or disagree, but they're just saying that maybe you have a low threshold for breaking news.
I think I have a high threshold for breaking news.
Okay.
Things like people getting fired that's whatever. People get fired all the time. This is the first time in the history of the sport something has happened.
Pop-Tarts Bowl having an edible mascot. I think that I actually agree with your breaking news on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually with you.
Thank you, Connor.
Also on bowl games, by the way, the poll question is up at Happer Show. But texter Donnie writes,
Donnie.
I don't know if sponsors make you old when thinking about a bowl game, but what does make you feel old is you attended the Liberty Bowl and the Astro Blue Bonnet Bowl. Signed Old Donnie.
That's funny that he says that because, and I don't say
that
this
is
to
the
make him feel
oldest
old.
sounding bowl game for sure.
Anytime there's two examples I go to whenever I want to okay, I'm trying to talk about an old bowl game. What's the example I can use? There's two of them.
Yeah.
It's the Gotham Bowl and the Blue Bonnet Bowl.
That's good. Some of those they had to bring them back. Like we brought back the Tangerine Bowl briefly.
Yeah.
We brought back the Citrus Bowl now.
These names are meaningless now. Call it whatever you want. The sponsor doesn't even have to be a real company anymore.
But there are, it's like whatever you grew up with, whenever you started liking college football, though that's always how you're going to refer to the bowl games. It will always be the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Good shout here from Star Wars Fiend. I missed the Poinsettia Bowl.
Poinsettia Bowl. Yeah, Poinsettia Bowl. Yeah, that's a good one. I remember the what did they bring back recently? The Gasparilla. That one sounds old, but that one was kind of new. Danielle follows up on the Big Red Overreaction. Not an anti-Connor thing. I like your show. Respectfully, I tune into Big Red Overreaction for the crazy drunk callers, which we got too many of.
Oh, okay. Good.
By the way,
plenty of time for both.
We got plenty of time for both. I gotta sneak in a take here and there.
Sure.
People want me to respond to things. I don't know. I'm the steward of Big Red Overreaction. And so people are like, hey, I got a question for you. So I'm like, okay, I don't answer. You're asking me to talk though. Here's the thing that got people stirred up over the weekend. As we know, Nebraska will be in the market for a quarterback in the transfer portal.
Says you.
And many people are starting to play their own game of college fantasy football quarterback and just kind of move guys from place to place. So whenever a guy enters the transfer portal, people start asking questions. Hey, where might he end up? It's like a coaching carousel, but mildly less important, but and certainly less long term and less money involved as well.
We do this with NFL quarterbacks. Like, that person's contract's gonna end. Where's Kirk Cousins gonna go? And it's always just re-sign with the team. Bad example with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. So somebody on Twitter, a Husker fan, Dustin, in response to one of these tweets, asked 24/7 Sports national guy Bud Elliott about the Nebraska situation. And I'm going to ask a question, see what's going on here. The question was this: do you think Nebraska has a shot at any high-level quarterback transfer? Can't roll with Purdy and Sims next year. Purdy/Sims next year. To which Bud who has many followers, 88,000, responded this. No way in hell I'd sign up to play quarterback for Satterfield, but Nebraska does have money. So he just left.
I don't think he needed to finish that thought.
No, somebody did respond and they were like, hey, why not? I mean, we got a talented group, like all the things that we would normally like this played out like it would on sports radio. Somebody responded and were like, hey, look, they got an improving offensive line. They got some young playmakers around them. Like they have a supporting fan base. Like they're going to, it's more of an attractive place than you're giving it credit for, basically was the response. And he said, because I think he's a bad coach and I would not risk my future like that unless Nebraska way overpaid. Talking about Satterfield. My guy is just taking it on the chin. Just getting smoked out there.
Has he heard that Nebraska's going to be 8-4 next year, regardless of who the quarterback is?
I don't think he heard that.
Oh, okay. That might change your opinion. Might change the quarterback's opinion.
The next response was, all right, well, then this is a different person now. So, okay, what if we give you this scenario? What if he has his offensive coordinator title removed, his responsibilities removed, and he just becomes, or I'm sorry, his quarterback coaching responsibilities removed, and he was just the offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
To which Bud responded, no, thank you. I don't want any part of any offense in which he has control.
Pretty definitive.
Yeah, I think so. And to be fair to Bud, we could get him on the show. He has been he's been this way about Satterfield from the beginning. But so we're going to have this conversation a lot. I am going to just go ahead and throw that out there. We're going to have this conversation a lot during the off season.
Interesting.
And like it or not, Nebraska is going to have to find ways to work around that. Now I don't know how much of the public thinks the way that Bud Elliott does. Maybe it's just one guy. I don't know that he has a very Satterfield. I don't know that Satterfield has a very great reputation around the sport. And look at his track record. All you have to do is that, because of developing quarterbacks and having quarterback success. Like I just don't know that there's much there. And like it or not, that is what quarterbacks are doing, potential quarterbacks are doing here in 2023, 2024. They want to find a good landing spot. Bottom line is they want to play in the NFL, and they want to go to a place where they can get there. That's for a top tier quarterback, right? If you're looking in that first group of 5, 6, 7, 10, right, that go into the transfer portal, what are they trying to do? They are trying to find the best spot to get them into the NFL. That's why they're going to end up at USC. That's why they're going to end up at Ohio State. That's why they're going to end up at, top schools in the country with the top. And if they don't end up at one of the top schools in the country, they're going to end up with one of the top offensive coordinators in the country who has a track record of developing quarterbacks. So to interject my own little piece into this conversation, I, once again, just don't know if Nebraska is in that world. They're not in that section of the grocery store, right? I think what Nebraska is probably going to end up finding is a quarterback in the transfer portal who is more and if things end up going their way and they end up really going in and they got a connection with a guy who, they could pay $1 million or like whatever it might be, and he could be the unicorn that Nebraska so desires, and certainly the Nebraska fan base so desires, then that's awesome. That's great. I tend to think it'll be more along the lines of this conversation Schaefer and I were having earlier, is I'm kind of thinking maybe not guy who wants to improve his draft stock, but guy who wants to play a year or play 2 years or play 3 years. He wants a cleaner opportunity for playing time, obviously, and then stylistically it has to fit as well. I don't think Nebraska's going to get like a Jeff Sims type in the portal again. I just don't. They're going to get a guy whose needs sort of match up. Hey, we can give you this, and you get this out of us, and it's a transactional deal, and we're in and out in 2 years. Maybe it's a little bit of that, or maybe it's a guy who wants to develop a little bit and then can be in the game in 2 years, somewhere around there. That's the section of the grocery store. That's the aisle.
But Nebraska fans, don't get discouraged because of what Bud Elliott said, because this is what Bud Elliott said in August.
Oh, we're doing Bud Elliott things now?
Well, yeah, we're just going back.
All right, we're doxing him. Let's go.
Well, this is what Bud said in August.
Yeah, like they may have some juice to them. I don't think this is going to shoot out, but Minnesota's defense is definitely not as good as it was last year.
Wait for it.
Given what they lost. Nebraska's defense is probably not any good at all.
Well, I mean,
so he's a liar.
He's bad at analyzing college football.
Trust me, I only remembered that he said that because so many people mentioned that in this thread. Holy God. Yeah, but you said Nebraska's defense wasn't going to be very good, so you are therefore discredited completely.
Canceled.
Yeah, guys, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. Now, it doesn't mean that he's like telling it, like, doesn't mean that that take is reflective of everybody around college football. Like, I would never play for Marcus Satterfield. Once again, I think we're talking about a different range of quarterbacks here. I think there are perfectly sellable points for Nebraska in the transfer portal for quarterbacks that aren't, hey, you can stop here for 1 year and we're going to get you to the NFL. I don't think they're in that world, like I just explained. And I think that's the way.
Another jump away from that, it seems.
Yeah, like if where do I want to go for a year if I want to go to the NFL? Like, yeah, I think there's a spot that's probably going to be open to play at USC next year. That's where I want to go. If I'm the top quarterback in the market, that's where I'm probably going to end up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
The quarterback whisperer, LA.
You're going to put up gaudy numbers.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to give you $1 million in NIL, and everything's going to be fine. Right? But I just, Nebraska's not in that area right now. And that's okay. So I do think, so if you're asking the question, like, all right, what does Nebraska have to sell? I think what I just said, as long as you're looking in the right category of people. I don't, hot take, Nebraska's starting quarterback in 2024 will not be a first-round draft pick in 2025. There you go.
Bold.
You said it. I said it. You heard it here first.
They'll run that back on another radio show in a year.
I know. And people will remember it. So hear me now. Nebraska, their quarterback in 2024 will not be a first-round pick in 2025. I'll sign on it.
Okay.
Right now. Ethan writes in.
Hi, Ethan.
He says, if Iowa can get Cade McNamara, Nebraska can get the next DJ Uiagalelei.
Ooh.
That's not a bad guy. Bounce back, struggled at a high-profile program, talented, bounce back type of guy.
Who would that guy be?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we don't know enough about the portal yet.
Yeah. Well, not even just who.
There's options.
Who would be a good candidate?
Caleb Williams. He stunk this year.
He said he might not go pro.
Transfer to Nebraska. Maybe. All right. So that was the thing that was triggering people this weekend. Get ready, because this is going to be a recurring segment on the show. Things that trigger people on Twitter this offseason.
Catchy title.
It'll keep happening. More up next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Kugler Vision. If you have money sitting in your flex plan or your health savings account, it is time for an early holiday gift for yourself. Book a consultation online at KuglerVision.com.
Sure, you could go elsewhere for your health and wellness products, or better yet, why not just come to 42 Degrees? Those other places don't even come close to the wide variety and premium disposable e-juice, CBD, Delta, Kratom, glass pipes, vaporizers, and other great products. With the friendliest, most knowledgeable, and professional staff who will find the right products just for you. If you're looking for a one-stop shopping experience, look no further. 42 Degrees. By your mom's house.
Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Bling in the holidays with Saul's. All jewelry in stock up to 50% off. All sterling jewelry up to 70% off. Watches starting at $19. Diamond earrings starting at $39. Bling in the holidays with up to 50% off jewelry at Saul's Jewelry alone.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
It started in Lincoln. Now it's in Omaha. It's Muchachos. At the heart of Muchachos is family. Muchachos uses new Mexican flavors with smoked barbecue passed down from generations. This flavor sensation is called New Mexican Barbecue Fusion. Come get your eat on and nosh on slow smoked pork brisket, chicken, queso, and mac. Try the fan favorite Hatch Mac Burrito with a craft beer or margarita. Muchachos is south of the Old Market at 1285 South 13th Street, or check them out at yomuchacho.com.
You could go to point A to B, or you could go to point X. Experience the stunning new 2024 BMW X Series lineup for yourself at Onyx Automotive. The BMW X range. Your next X venture starts here. Lease the new 2024 BMW X1 X-Drive 28i for just $549 a month at BMW of Omaha. Online at bmwofomaha.com. See dealer for details.
Rich Eisen here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up, an NFC North rivalry game with the 6-5 Vikings hosting the Bears. Chicago's looking for its first division win, while Minnesota's in search of a bounce-back victory to keep the division-leading Lions within reach. Kevin Harlan and Hall of Famer Kurt Warner have the call on air and on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 1620, The Zone.
O'Reilly. Protect your engine better with Syntec Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil, only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec High Mileage is formulated for today's engines with over 75,000 miles. Now get 5 quarts of Syntec High Mileage and a MicroGuard Select oil filter for just $34.99. Limit supply. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Remember the simple days of the home phone? You never misplaced that phone or lost a call because of spotty internet or bad reception. It was right there and always reliable, even in emergencies. Well, the home phone is back and better than ever with Community Phone. Community Phone offers landline home phone service starting at just $39 a month. And now get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-936-4134. There are no contracts. You don't need internet. You can make unlimited nationwide calls, and your phone works, even if you lose power. Plus, you can keep your current phone number or get a new one. With Community Phone, you'll enjoy all the modern conveniences of caller ID, voicemail, spam call blocking, and more. Today, get 50% off your first month when you call 1-866-936-4134. Call 1-866-936-4134 today to get 50% off. 1-866-936-4134.
All right, quick one here. So, Josh has something that he wants me to respond to. He wants me to address the allegations.
Yeah, a lot of allegations being floated. Troy on YouTube says, and I quote, "Number of pro rule calls was very suspicious on Friday's Big Red overreaction." Connor, address the allegations.
I'm curious, Troy, suspicious in what way? Just sure, but what are you insinuating? What are you insinuating? Josh, would you like to guess what he's insinuating?
If I may extrapolate,
go ahead.
Troy's comments, I think he's saying that maybe 1620 The Zone afraid to speak ill of Matt Rule for fear of losing our precious access.
Oh, I thought this was a me thing. Because we do get messages all the time. Like I see the YouTube chat. I can't get to all the comments on the show, especially during Big Red Overreaction. But I do see the comments coming as like, there they go again, towing the company line.
Connor?
So I think this is probably about me.
Oh, okay.
Right? This is like Connor, so positive. He filtered out all the bad calls.
Oh, screened them out. Yeah.
That would be my guess as to what's happening here.
Our phones don't work well enough.
And
And
I don't. Yeah, I think Joey just takes people's names and is like, all right, cool, you're up.
Cool.
You're going. I have no idea what anyone is going to say. No idea. And I prefer it that way, to be completely honest with you. But I tend to be I have a positive disposition on things. There's no doubt about it. Positive boy.
Danielle says, that's not fair to Connor. The sample size was too low because they didn't take many calls. Connor's got takes.
All right. Here's an off-season project for you, Josh. Why don't you go back on every Big Red Overreaction this year and see how many calls everyone took? And see, because I did 4 shows.
Wow.
And see if the number of calls that were taken on my shows were lower than any of the other shows.
That does sound like a good idea.
If you do that, now that would be funny, first of all.
A lot of pain.
And all of the shows would get content out of them. So that would be helpful in that regard. But God bless you if you do.
That'd be a lot of work.
It would,
but it might be worth it.
It would be in lieu of watching the game, the season over again. You would have to listen to all the Big Red Overreactions.
I don't have to listen to them. I just have to fast forward until the voice changes. Like, okay, someone else is talking.
You could also do, while you're doing it, you could do the stats of how many drop calls our beautiful phone system, did. And
that would be another good one.
There's perks. And I would love you long time.
I'm going to put this in the maybe pile, but we all have 2 maybe piles, right? Like a maybe yes and a maybe no pile. Maybe yes pile.
Okay. So that's a great segue to this. So we're going through all my spreadsheets of the year this week. I got at least 3 lined up for you. And we'll see what else comes along. But I got an email from Doug this morning who was like, hey, you should do Big Ten West records for everybody since the Big Ten West is now dead and complete. And I thought, okay, that's a good idea. Maybe we'll throw it in there for the 4th of spreadsheet smiths, because that's basically what this is. It's feast week, and we're feasting on spreadsheets.
Ooh.
So the first one that I updated last night was just Matt Rule's coaching game log, and I came up with a couple things. So, and I mentioned these stats earlier. Matt Rule is now 1-14 in 1-score games in his first years. 13 Temple, 17 Baylor, and 23 Nebraska. His first year at each of his 3 stops. 1-14 in 1-score games. He actually won the one game this year against Northwestern. 8 points or less is a one-score game.
A bowl team in Northwestern.
A bowl team. Home of the Big Ten Coach of the Year. Convincingly so. Beyond that, he's 12-10 in one-score games. So career one-score games, Matt Rule is 13-24. But 12 of the 13 wins have come outside of year ones. That's the rest of his time at Temple and the rest of his time at Baylor, not year ones. So 1-14 in year ones. By the way, just to compare this, excuse me, Scott Frost went 1-5 in one-score games in year one, and we thought, wow, that's going to be better, right? He went 4-17 the rest of his time at Nebraska. Matt Rule, there's actual evidence here to say that number specifically is going to get better. They're going to start winning some one-score games. That's what Matt Rule's history would show you. Matt Rule against the spread.
Ooh.
So in his first years at Temple, Baylor, Nebraska combined, against the spread, a little inconsistent. 16-19-1. This is, once again, against the spread. I know people don't care, but I think the ATS stuff matters because it includes what people think of you and what people think about your opponent, right? Are you exceeding expectations? Are you meeting them? Or are you falling below them? We know how it worked out for the previous coach. There wasn't really a metric that looked good for him. Rule in year ones, not so good. Pretty inconsistent, 16-19-1. The rest of his college coaching career, so anything but year ones. The rest of his time at Baylor, the rest of his time at Temple. 42-23-1, Josh. That's like Josh playing pick'em on the weekends against the spread.
It's like 2-1 he's winning.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That doesn't tell you everything. By the way, Scott Frost went 24-23 against the spread total in his career at Nebraska. And by the way, I always like to mention this. Scott Frost only went 14-12 as an outright as a favorite. Outright as a favorite. Matt Rule currently outright as a favorite in his career, 33-12. That would include the loss on Friday. Their 12th. Because people forget Nebraska was a favorite in that game. So, I mean, that's what I got out of day one of spreadsheets, miss. We'll do the drive chart tomorrow. That'll be a ton of fun. And then we'll do the rushers. I love the rushers because it tells you how much of the percentage of your rushes go to quarterbacks. And for Nebraska, it was like over 50% this year. So it's going to be super ugly. Get ready to get into the carnage the next 2 days. That'll be great. And I guess the next 3 if we do the Big Ten West one.
Sure.
So this has been Spreadsheets, miss.
Celebrate the beautiful Big Ten West.
Full questions. We'll tell you what to watch next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Your Omaha area forecast from Canoyer Garden Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Skies clear this afternoon and tonight, staying chilly with the high today of 38 degrees, still feeling like the lower 30s though. Gusts possible out of the west-northwest up to 20 miles an hour. Clear skies tonight will help drive temperatures down. Cold with a low of 18 in Omaha. Luckily, winds staying light out of the northwest up to 10 miles an hour. Few clouds possible tomorrow, but mostly sunny by the afternoon, breezy and cool. A high Tuesday of 43. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
Need a feast to feed the family? Godfather's Pizza has you covered. Build your own feast. Choose a medium specialty pizza, a medium one-topping pizza, and a side, like my new bacon ranch cheese sticks. Freshly baked, loaded with mozzarella cheese, tangy ranch, and topped with an abundance of bacon. Do yourself a favor and build your feast today. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
What does Saul's loan on? Almost everything, like jewelry, gold chains, bracelets, earrings, wedding rings, and high-end watches, guns, electronics, $10 to $50,000, super fast and easy with no credit check. Saul's loans on almost everything.
Looking for a pure electric vehicle that does 0 to 60 in less than 5 seconds? The eyes have it. The BMW i-Line. 100% electric, 100% sports car, 110% BMW. The BMW i-Line. The electric vehicle that takes you farther than you could ever imagine. Right now, lease a new BMW i4 eDrive 35 for $499 a month at BMW of Omaha. Online at bmwofomaha.com. See dealer for details.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Ancestry makes the perfect gift to give people because it literally blew my mind.
It's literally like you're giving them something that they would have no knowledge of.
Which is very important because for us to basically be able to find our missing family or to see my indigenous heritage confirmed inside there. It's one gift, but it's so many different things.
Show someone where they came from this holiday season with Ancestry DNA. Now on sale at Ancestry.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Our family invites yours to gather around our table this holiday season and feast on the warmth and abundance of fresh food and good company. Groups of all sizes are welcome. We promise to have something for everyone. So toast the end of the year with those you love best. Let our kitchen be your kitchen. We invite you to come home for the holidays at Rodizio Grill, the Brazilian Steakhouse.
In the historic Haymarket, Lincoln.
When you switch to Boost Mobile, you can get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G and a pretty powerful way to get after it.
Like me, Tusi, a man who fell in love with music and fell on hard times. From writing songs in my room to sitting on top of the charts. All because I made poetry out of pain and always knew I'd be on the stage singing your favorite song.
Switch to Boost and get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone on America's largest 5G networks.
Boost Mobile. Get after it.
New customers only. Taxes extra. One device per line. 5G not available everywhere. Other restrictions apply.
O'Reilly. It's See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your worn-out wiper blades and get up to a $20 O'Reilly gift card after rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. See store for details. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Giving Tuesday is our biggest local giving day of the year. On November 28th, let's celebrate what the Metro can do together. Donate to your choice of local nonprofits on Giving Tuesday and year-round at shareomaha.org. During this season of giving, donate to causes you care about in just a few clicks. Mark your calendar for November 28th. Giving Tuesday 402 is powered by Share Omaha. Give local on November 28th at shareomaha.org.
All right, running late. Let's get some poll questions. The polls at Happer Show. Did Evan Cooper and Matt Rule shave each other?
Surprisingly, not the most voted on poll question of the day.
I mean, it appears yes.
We have physical evidence that this happened.
Well, no, we have physical evidence that they shaved. We don't have physical evidence that they shaved each other.
Sorry.
Be very clear about this. Yep. 63% say yes. It did happen. Does Shedeur Sanders have more medical resources at his disposal than Batman did in the Gulag?
Oh, yeah, almost undoubtedly.
I believe so, yes. 84% only are saying yes. Would you watch Michigan Ohio State play again on Saturday?
Most voted on poll question of the day by a lot, actually.
Yeah. 74% say yes.
Interesting.
26% are lying. Is how you refer to the Pop-Tarts Bowl, a.k.a. the Blockbuster Bowl, CarQuest Bowl, Champ Sports Bowl, Russell Athletic Bowl, a good sign of how old someone is? A little wordy, but I like it.
It's fair.
Yes. And it's always the Champ Sports Bowl to me. 78% say yes.
Agree. That's a good take by you.
And those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We are watching Monday Night Football. The Bears at the Vikings, 7:15 start. No Manning cast today, so this one's just on ABC and ESPN. Coverage of Westwood 1 begins right here on 1620 The Zone at 6:30. Doubleheader in the NBA on NBA TV, 6 o'clock, Lakers, Sixers, and Philly. And then the Nuggets take on the Clippers at 9:30. College basketball, the best thing I can offer you today is Utah at St. Mary's, 10 o'clock start on ESPNU if you're a sicko. Men's basketball, Omaha Mavericks host York, 7 o'clock on 1290 Coil. Women's basketball, the Mavericks take on Cal State Bakersfield at 4:45 on 1180 The Zone. A lot of Maverick basketball on the radio today.
Go Mavs.
7 o'clock, CBS, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Hell yeah!
The Christmas classic with our own
Yukon Cornelius.
That's right. And at 8 o'clock on Fox, the season 2 finale of Special Forces, World's Toughest Test. They crown a winner. I don't know what the hell's going on in the show, but every week I see a promo for it, and they're waterboarding JoJo Siwa. And I'm like, what is going on here?
Wait, what show is this?
Special Forces, World's Toughest Test. Celebrities take the Special Forces training exercises, and it's like, hey, watch us whip Danny Bonaducci for 12 hours and see if he spills government secrets.
Kind of intrigued by that definition.
Well, the finale's tonight. There's no prize. Cool. There's no prize, no charity donation, no prize to the winner. It's just, hey, you get to be the toughest.
You get to have pain on national television.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's all we're watching tonight. That's the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is next.
Live from